Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Sector 6, and welcome back to the first episode of the Big 7 in 2022. Now, this week's guest, I'm sure all of you have seen already, we snuck it in at the end of the Christmas special just as a little spoiler, but this week's guest is LegionzGaming. So, Legionz, why don't you tell everyone what it is that you do and where they can find you?
Hey, what's going on, everybody? LegionzGaming here. You can find me on Twitch, YouTube, and Twitter, even TikTok. I do JRPG content, mainly Final Fantasy and other anime JRPGs, Nier, etc. A bunch of Square Enix games. And I also do cover mobile games for Square Enix a lot, Nier Reincarnation, Dissidia, Opera Omnia, and Ever Crisis when it comes out. Yeah, I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Oh, no, thank you for being here, man. And yes, Ever Crisis. Looking forward to that. Hopefully we get some news, because we're coming up on that 25th anniversary of Final Fantasy VII.
9 days.
Yeah, they've got to give us something. Got to give us something.
There's no way they don't give us something during the 25-year anniversary, because they already gave us Remake on PC before. And a lot of people were speculating, oh, they're going to show off Remake PC on the 25-year anniversary. But no. What else could they show, possibly, besides a teaser of Part 2, which is highly unlikely, I feel like.
Very unlikely, yeah.
Or Ever
It would
Crisis.
be insane if they did give us something like,
I think the reason that Ever Crisis is highly likely that we're going to see it is they recently did an interview. I think it was Nomura or Katase, one of them. And they said expect a lot of Final Fantasy VII compilation stuff throughout 2022. So I feel like it's definitely like First Soldier, Ever Crisis, a bunch of
it makes sense as well, because we've not got like an exact release date for Ever Crisis or anything like that.
2022.
Yeah, so they'll give us a release date. Hopefully it's not too far away as well. Maybe it's like, download now.
Don't get me excited like that.
That'd be pretty sick. But yeah, all the links for Legionz, you can see him below him, just floating around underneath him on the screen. So, and I'll make sure they're in the description. So click them, follow, subscribe, do all of the things. But you know how this show works. We're going to get straight into the questions. So, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Right. So, I mean, the first question, easy one. What was your first experience with Final Fantasy VII? Like, how did you get into it?
Oh man, that's a weird story. A lot of people may have looked at me, like even IRL, they look at me and they say, "You play video games?" Because I go to the gym, I'm active, I go for runs, and my first experience was my cousin used to babysit me, and he was about 4 years older than me, both of them, both my cousins, and I never used to play games like that on my PlayStation. I never played JRPGs. I never played like Magic the Gathering or anything like that. I played like a lot of Crash Bandicoot, Spyro, Metal Gear. Those are the PlayStation games I played. And then I'm like, oh, what is this game you're playing? Magics and like swordsman. What is this? And like I kind of made fun of him a little bit as a kid. But then I was watching him one day when he was babysitting me, and he was at the part where Aerith dies at the Temple of the Ancients.
Spoilers.
Spoiler alert. I mean, Jesus, if you don't know that.
Right in, let's go.
And I was getting so invested, like watching him go through this, because I watched him go through the whole part of what is it? Is it Temple of the Ancients where it turns into the black materia, right?
Yeah.
And then went into the City of the Ancients where she died. And I was like, oh my God, what do you mean she's dead? And I saw my cousin cry, and I'm like, how powerful does a game have to be to make a guy cry? Because I grew up, we all grew up as men, like, oh, we're not supposed to cry. You're not supposed to show emotions.
Don't show emotions.
Yeah, exactly. And then I was like, okay, Mom, I need you to buy me Final Fantasy VII, please. And she ended up buying it for me, and I didn't know you need a memory card. So I like made it to the end of Midgar.
I think Blitz was the same as well, if I remember right from my chat with Blitz. I think Blitz was the same.
And I was like, oh shit, I can't save. So I needless to say, until my mom bought me a memory card, I was going through Midgar like a million times until she finally bought me a memory card. You
optimized that.
I could probably speed run that. But yeah, that's how I first got into it. So thank you to my cousins for getting me into something that I actually make content on now. Just never thought that would ever be a thing.
It is a
But
crazy thing that a lot of people have got in common, that someone else kind of introduced them
yeah,
to it. Like for me, I didn't even know about the franchise. Like a friend of mine had it, hated it, and was like, "Do you want to try this game?" I was like, "Yeah, go on then."
yeah.
Borrowed it, never gave it him back. No, 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 no,
No,
no, no, no,
and
no, no.
it's just so crazy because that completely changed my whole perspective on
Yeah,
JRPGs and RPGs in general. I went from thinking they were so nerdy and like weird. If you played them, you were weird, and now I'm the weird one, and that's literally all I play. It's became my favorite game of all time.
it was a
Final
gateway
Fantasy
drug.
14 may have passed,
Yeah.
but yeah, Final Fantasy 7 is one of my favorite games of all time because of that. So
Yeah, it's definitely similar for me. It introduced me to like all those JRPGs, and the PS1 had a stupid amount of JRPGs on it.
Legend,
Oh my
Legend
goodness.
of Legalia, Chrono Cross, Chrono Trigger, so many,
Breath of
so many.
Fire. Oh, Breath
Breath
of
of
Fire
Fire,
3 and
yes.
4.
I'm
Bangers.
still waiting for a Legend of Dragoon remake to this day. Just port it.
It's money on
Just
the
let me play
table.
it on
Yeah, they're
modern
leaving
system.
money on the table.
Jesus Christ. They freaking remade Demon Souls. Can you remake Legend of Dragoon, please? My
We'll buy
God.
it. We
I don't even
promise.
need a Final Fantasy 7 remake. Just upscale the graphics a little bit. It's fine. The
Yeah.
gameplay is fine.
Oh, I love that. But no, it is something a lot of us have got in common that like someone else introduced us to the game. It's nice to see. It's nice to see.
It
So
is.
the second one is kind of like, how did Final Fantasy VII like influence you? Like
Oof.
from what you've said, like it changed how you approach gaming a lot. And yeah, very much the same. Like before Final Fantasy VII, I was very much like playing sports games. I was playing platformer
Mhm.
games a lot, like your Mario games and all. Like I grew up
Yep.
on the NES and the SNES, so it was all platformers and stuff like that for me. So was it kind of the same sort of thing for you? It kind of changed what kind of games you were into.
Yeah. And not only did it influence me in this is gonna get a little deep.
Let's go.
I had to tell this story on my stream a little while ago because somebody asked me. Not only did it change my perspective in JRPGs and RPGs in general, but also like in real life.
Yeah.
When I was younger, I went to Catholic school when I was in elementary and middle school, and I was one of those kids that tried to hang out with the cool kids, right? But like got picked on by the cool kids.
Yeah.
Like they let me hang out in their circle, but
Yeah.
I still
Yeah.
got picked on, you know? And it just like I think that's why I connected with Cloud so much because he was kind of like the outcast and
Yeah.
also picked on and bullied as a kid. But then he, you know, becomes stronger throughout the
Yeah.
story and um, doesn't have time to waste on those other kids, the bullies, and he ends up becoming the hero of the story. So I think that's where it influenced me more was personally more than just JRPGs and RPGs because it actually in real life
Yeah.
made me a stronger person, which is weird to say about
No,
a video
no,
game, but
it's true,
I was
man.
like, if this kid, this weird kid, can become this strong and uh, not deal with bullshit like this anymore, not let stuff phase him, and then of course he has the the PTSD and the mental stuff that
Yeah.
he goes through, but yeah, I was like, if he can do it, then so can I,
Yeah.
and
It's like a motivational character, a
yeah, and
motivational
I
tale.
totally switched up the kind of people that I hung around with in school and how reacted to I reacted to getting bullied to getting into a lot of fights.
Yeah.
So I ended up becoming like Cloud because he always got into fights all the time too. Um, but yeah, so he as a character helped me become a stronger kid as well.
Yeah. No, that's honestly, it's a story that you do hear a lot as well. Not just with Final Fantasy VII, but with a lot of characters like that. I mean, I think you could probably put Squall into the same sort of category.
Yep.
Maybe not as much as Cloud, but definitely the same sort of category.
Yep.
And it helps when people can identify with characters like that, and it does definitely. It can inspire you to change things in a big
Yeah.
way, 100%, and it is a good thing. And now, look at what you're doing now.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
You know what
And
I
I'm
mean?
trying to spring it on other people now too. I'm like, oh, you haven't played Final Fantasy 7 yet? The greatest Final Fantasy. What are you doing?
We need to get a meme like 14 has. That's what we need. We
I
need to get
know.
one of them kind of memes like 14 has.
I
We'll
mean,
work on
honestly,
it.
isn't it still the best sold Final Fantasy game of all time?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I think 14
I
might be
know it
catching
had the
up.
record for the longest time, but it might have lost the record by now.
I think the compilation of 7 in general has got like the
Yeah.
most sales.
Also,
Yeah.
7 has been sold on like so many says
Yeah,
PS1,
PS1.
PSP, PS Vita, PS2, PS3, PS4, PC, like Xbox. It's
You're just listing how
Switch,
many times I've bought Final Fantasy VII now, and
mobile.
it's stressing me
Yeah,
out.
literally all the time. So many times. That's why, like, when people, I don't get offended. There's a lot of people that get offended when they're like, "Oh, 7's not my favorite," and they're like, "What? What do you mean 7's not your favorite?" I feel like Square Enix does a really good job at having people relate to certain characters.
Yes.
Like every character feels unique and different. Like Zidane is a ladies' man. He just wants ass and titties.
Zidane.
That's all he cares about. And Squall is Sasuke. He's just this emo kid that tells his teacher to go talk to a wall.
Oh, Sasuke.
And like every other chat out here is trying to bang their teacher, and he's like, "Go talk to a wall.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't want to talk to you." And then you have Titus, who I think a lot of people connect to more than anybody because of the daddy issues, where didn't get to hang out. There's so many people out there that don't even know their fathers, or their fathers never had time. Even me myself, I'm close with my father now, but when I was a kid, I didn't really hang out with him much, like play at the park or anything like that. He worked all the time, barely saw him. So I kind of connected with Titus a little bit too when I played 10. But yeah, I feel like there's a Final Fantasy out there for everybody. So when you get those toxic people that are like, "Oh, if you don't like this game, then you have no taste." Like, no.
I think people get mixed up in the conversation between which is best and which is favorite. I think that's the thing. Like, people get confused on that. Like, I know Final Fantasy VII is not the best Final Fantasy. It's 9 or 6 probably.
See, for me, it's the best. But for somebody else, it won't be.
For me, it's my favorite.
It's how you relate to it, right?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Like 7 for me stands head and shoulders above pretty much every other game.
Yeah,
but I can sit back and go, it's probably not the best one. My favorite.
6 is really good too.
6 and 9, like, oh shit, man. I'm looking forward to that Pixel remaster of 6. Oh,
me too. 2 more weeks, right? Isn't it the 10th?
I don't know if they give us a date. I'm very confused about this.
Yeah, there's a date. It's like, oh, they didn't say a date yet. I think it's going to be early.
I think they said February. Yeah, it's got to be soon. Imagine that's what they give us on the anniversary of 7.
Yeah, they haven't given us a date yet. I'm going to look it up while you...
Seriously, yeah, I've checked it a few times. I've been very confused about it the last few days. Like, wait, have they actually given us a date yet, or just a rough month? And yeah, I think
it was just a rough...
Yeah.
They just said February 2022.
They're going to come out of nowhere and surprise me. I'm only halfway through my run. I'm most of the way through Final Fantasy 3. So
no release date. It just says February 2022. That's weird. That's so weird. Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, we'll get it. We'll get it. I'm
February's
looking
a week
forward
away.
To it because
February's a week away. Come on, Square.
The first. Oh,
no, Unileska out there is losing her shit.
Yeah, I've seen a few times. She's just like, please give us a date. For the love of God, please give us a date.
Favorite Final Fantasy of all time.
It's such a good game. Like,
it is. It's beautiful.
For me, I played 7 and I was like, okay, this is cool. And I think I played Breath of Fire 3 next. Then it was Final Fantasy 8. Then I played a few others, and it was like after 10 I went back and played 6. It was like, oh, hello, what's this? Very good game. Very good
6
game.
is amazing.
Yeah. The music. Like,
if any Final Fantasy deserves a remake treatment, it's that one. 100%.
I don't think I'm ready for the music in 6.
Oh,
that's
gonna be beautiful.
Like the world map music in 2 was breaking me every time I heard it. Like, oh my god, this is so good. Like, I can't deal with 6.
Even 5 Pixel Remaster for me had so many good, cool moments. Like,
I can't wait.
Gilgamesh, man, the bridge. God, that song is so iconic. Like, to the point where I'm playing through 12 right now, and like, I'm not gonna lie, I am struggling. I do not like the game at all, but I'm like, I promise people, everyone's like, oh, it's a good game, you just gotta play through the end, and I'm trying. But the only thing that gave it bonus points was there's a hunt that you do. It's not even like a main thing, it's a side thing.
Yeah.
And you fight Gilgamesh, and the song plays from 5, and I was like, oh, this is cool. And he's like pulling out Cloud's Buster Sword, Titus's Brotherhood, Zidane's weapons, the Mage Master, I think it was, and Squall's Gunblade. I'm like, oh, this is cool as fuck. Like, this is really cool.
Anytime
But
Gilgamesh pops up, it's
he's
guaranteed
such a
fun
badass,
times. Yeah,
man.
it's just guaranteed fun times. It's a shame they couldn't work him into 7 somehow.
Yeah, I mean, remake, you never know, dude.
Oh, don't make me dream. Don't make
It's
me
gonna be a
dream.
VR. It's gonna be a VR fight. Watch.
Oh, pretty good.
Chadley's gonna be like, "Hey, I've learned a new material."
Want to play? Oh no, Chadley worries me, man. Like he's up
Oh,
to some shit. That boy is up
you and
to
me
some
both.
shit.
You and me both.
He's up to some shit, and yeah, I'm watching him. First time he pops up, oh, I can't be doing with it. Anyway, speaking of characters, nice segue. Speaking of characters in Final Fantasy VII, one of the 2 tough questions now. So, who is your favourite character in Final Fantasy VII, Remake, the compilation in general? Who is your favourite? You can give me a couple if you want, but I'm going to try and make you pick one.
I already know who my favorite is. I was gonna meme and say Wedge, but my favorite is my favorite's Zack. Zack is my favorite.
Nice. Crisis Core
But
fan then, I assume.
that doesn't mean that that doesn't mean that I enjoyed seeing him come back in Remake. So don't get it twisted.
Oh, we'll come back to that. We'll come back to that bit. We'll come back to that bit.
I love him, but
leave him alone.
He's my favorite.
Leave him alone.
I love his theme. What is it? Freedom, right?
Yeah.
The Price of Freedom.
Yeah, Price of Freedom.
Good. And I just love his character. His happy-go-lucky, like always tries to find the best possible outcome of every scenario that he's in.
Yes.
He's always trying to be the hero, always trying to save everybody. He's a perfect protagonist.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you look at all of Final Fantasy VII, he is literally the only one who is just a pure, straight, outright hero. He's just a straight shooter, good guy, does what needs to be done. That's it.
And he, even like, if you've played Crisis Core, he goes through some shit.
Yeah.
And he still keeps that happy-go-lucky attitude right until the end, right until he dies.
Yeah.
Like, he had to kill his senpai, Angeal.
Yeah.
He, even Genesis.
Yeah.
He had to see a lot of friends die, and then Sephiroth turns on him, Shinra's turning on him, he gets experimented on. Like, he goes through so much, and still at the end of the movie, he's like, nope, I'm still going to be the hero.
Yep. Still going to keep going. So yeah, Crisis Core was a bit of a weird game, but one of the main things that came out of it for me was how good Zack was. Like, Zack in general,
why I love
brilliant.
it so much.
Yeah.
A lot of people were very bamboozled by my tier list and me having Crisis Core A tier. Zack is the reason why.
Fair.
Zack, the music,
yeah,
and the fact that it gave a better backstory to what happened before Sephiroth, with Cloud, than anything else. Like, better than Last Hope. Not
Last Order.
Last Order. Oh god, I hated the way they did Sephiroth in that. Instead of Cloud killing him, he just jumps off. I was like, what the fuck is that? He just jumps into
like
life and he kills himself.
Lemming.
That's the story. I was like, no, I don't like this. Go back to Crisis Core, please.
Yeah, Last Order was painful. I'm still not, like, Crisis Core hurts me in a couple of ways. Like, Genesis being in that scene upsets me.
You don't like Loveless?
I just don't like Genesis in that scene. He just shouldn't be there.
Act 5.
Oh, it hurts. Like, I don't mind Genesis in general. I get his character and I'm cool with his story, but just don't put him in the reactor. That's Zack, Cloud, and Sephiroth. Just leave it to them 3.
I think they are.
Oh, they're going to. Oh, yeah. Oh, mate, we'll get the Khan flashback and he'll be there.
Yeah.
Somewhere will happen. It'll be there.
I think they are, because Hojo's already talking about G cells and stuff.
Yeah, they've already sprinkled it in a little bit, like, ooh, have a little bit of that.
A lot of people bring up the whole GAC thing, but I mean,
nothing. They've used him in a mobile game, didn't they?
Yeah. He's in.
Is it Opera Omnia?
Opera no. He's in the code for Opera Omnia, but he has not been. Like, people have data mined him, but he's not been revealed. Yeah, but they could easily just
He's one of the biggest secrets. Well, he is involved in one of the bigger mysteries in the compilation, because it's like at the end of Dirge of Cerberus, he just comes in, picks Weiss up, and fucks off. What's going on here? Do you know what I mean? What?
Yep. It's so weird.
Yeah, we do need some answers on that. Right, so we're going with Zack.
Yes.
Any honourable mentions, or is it just fuck it, Zack?
Honourable mentions?
No. That face says no.
Tifa.
Tifa, fair.
Yeah. Especially after reading Traces of Two Path, my god.
I thought you were going to say, yeah, especially after watching the Italian Senate meeting the other day. What was that, man? Like, serious. If you've not seen it, if you're watching this
That
and you
person
don't
is
know,
cultured, whoever did that, all right?
he got fired. He must get
That person was
fired.
down bad. That person was down
It
bad.
was the guy screaming in the background.
Yeah, he was like, "Oh my god, oh my god!" He didn't know what the hell to do.
If you don't know,
Oh,
just Google Tifa Italian Senate. You'll find it.
dude. Oh my god, it was such a weird week for Final Fantasy that week. We had the whole thing with you know who, I'm not gonna say.
Yeah, we won't, but yes.
And then literally the next day was just Tifa hentai
Tifa
played
gate.
at Italian government. And I'm like, what
What?
the fuck? This isn't why we want Final Fantasy trending. Come on.
I didn't even notice it. I was streaming when I think it popped up on Twitter and started going around. So then I ended up in Baby Seal's stream and he's fucking talking about it. I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah, it was all over Twitter. I saw Final Fantasy trending again, and then I saw Tifa. Anytime you see Tifa trending, it's usually
worth a click.
Don't scroll if you're streaming. Like, don't show it on stream because there's
no. Just Twitter in general. I just don't ever show on stream. Just you never know. Anything could happen. That Final Fantasy topic is hectic. Like I've considered unfollowing it sometimes, but it is just.
But then you never get to see if Ever Crisis got announced.
I know. This is what I mean. I can't unfollow the topic. I have to
because they did show it on Twitter when they first announced it, which was weird. What did they do? It was they announced. They showed Intergrade, right?
I think so.
At Gamescom, I think it was.
Yeah,
or something.
I think it was.
Or Summer Games Fest, something like that. And then literally, as soon as it ended, I'm like seeing all this shit on Twitter. I'm like, what the fuck is this? First Soldier Ever Crisis. Why are they showing this on Twitter? And they just put 2 reveal trailers on Twitter. So like, I wouldn't even be surprised if they're just like, hey, pre-registrations for Ever Crisis comes out in a week or some shit like that.
Oh, I'll be up for that. Speaking of, are you still playing the First Soldier, or is it kind of simmered down a little bit for you? Simmered down a little bit. I am not gonna lie, I haven't played it since like the 3rd or 4th
The setup
week.
to stream it is just god awful.
Yeah.
And then I kept doing it in the hope of, one, it was really good for my channel.
Yeah.
On Twitch anyway. YouTube, not so much. People don't really care about it on YouTube.
I think I did a video on it and got like 200 viewers, and it was like, oh, okay. I won't cover that again.
Yeah. I did one video that did really good. It was like 20,000 views, and it was how to play it with a controller. And then after that, everything was like 1,000, 2,000.
Yeah, so the how-to video does well.
400. Yeah.
Which made sense.
Even like collabing with Blitz and both of us doing videos together and trying to boost each other's channels by like both of our communities, just
wasn't having it.
Still didn't do good for both of us, and it's like, ugh.
Hopefully they can update it and bring something new to the table.
We held out the hope in hoping that emulator support would come sooner or later, and it did. And as soon as it did, they shut it down immediately. And I'm like, oh, you're one of those companies. I've done mobile games for a long time.
Yeah.
So I know when a company's like, nah, we don't want it on emulator. Yeah. Like Nintendo, none of their shit works on emulator ever for mobile games.
Also like Pokemon Unite and stuff like that.
Yeah, Pokemon, does not work on emulator, but it's got a Switch anyway. But yeah, Pokemon Unite, Pokemon Masters. There's another Nintendo game called Dragalia Lost. None of those games. Fire Emblem Heroes. None of those games work on emulator. Yeah. So this company seems like they're the exact same way. I get it. They don't want people to have an unfair advantage against mobile players while playing on PC. Yeah,
because you do get people that'll fuck about.
But there's ambassadors in the program that literally have these like setups that it's like a $400, $500 adapter that's like a mini PC, and it has USB ports and HDMI and everything, and you can plug in mouse and keyboard, and they're literally running the game 60 FPS mouse and keyboard.
There's
and
like
I'm supposed to combat this with my stupid $50 cable and constant crashes. Nah, I'm good.
Yeah, because I got one of them fucking phone holder things that you just clip onto your PS4 pad, and it's an awful experience. And then you've got wires coming off it. So
this is how I was playing.
Oh, see,
this is how I was playing it.
And what pad were you using?
I was using an iPad, but it crashed all the time. And then even with the video I made on how to play it on your monitor, it never, no matter, this is a brand new, like $1,300 phone, like the best iPhone you can get. And it still didn't like sync properly with my monitor.
Did
It
your
was, like,
phone get quite
half a
hot as
second.
well when you were syncing to your PC?
Yep.
No,
Yep.
mine was on fucking fire.
So I was like, it's just not worth the stream anymore,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Hopefully they
I
can
didn't even do
update
the
it.
tournament that they had, like,
Oh
a week
yeah,
ago.
shit. They had
For
they had like
ambassadors,
yeah.
they did some weird thing where it was supposed to be just us ambassadors, and they invited randomly like 40 to 50 Japanese content creators, and the whole leaderboard was just filled with all Japanese players.
Okay, now.
Yeah,
So I
and there was
assume it's
barely
doing
any
well
ambassadors.
over there then.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Right. Cool. At least it's doing well somewhere. I suppose
Yeah,
that's one thing.
the country it came from. Yeah.
Yeah,
Japan.
but they're very much into
Those games
they're
always do
much
good
more
there.
into mobile over there
Yeah.
as well, aren't they? Like with Korea
Literally
as well
80%
and stuff
of
like
their
that.
market.
Yeah.
Yep, like
madness.
80% of their market in gaming is from mobile games. Yep.
I play daft games on my phone, daft, silly little games, just nonsense games. I don't play anything serious on it. It's just, I don't know. I'm just weird.
I'd recommend Brave Exvius. It's a good game.
I've got it installed. I've played it a little bit, but
it's so weird because the story, it's a mobile game, but the story in that mobile game is actually so good.
Yeah.
To the point they made another game called War of the Visions, which is like the Final Fantasy Tactics version of it as
well. I've installed
them. And the
them.
stories are linked and everything. It's crazy.
This is it. I install them. I'll play them maybe for a day, maybe two. And then I'll forget the fucking thing exists.
Yeah. That's the thing with mobile games. They're very like, you got to play them every day. You got to do your dailies if you want to be able to pull these characters without spending money. And
yeah, because I log in now and I've got 3,000
money.
notifications that I've got to go through because I've been not on the game for so long.
Yeah,
and it's just download updates, and I'm just like, nah.
Yeah.
Well, where's that golf game that I was playing? That shit's simple.
Mini golf.
It's pretty fun. Play against other people. This is how the episodes end up 4 hours long, by the way, because we go down little. Yeah, this is how it happens. This is literally how it happens. It's me. Yeah, I'm a fucking wrong, and it's me. Right, so we're gonna jump into remake land for a minute. How are you feeling about remake so far? Like, where you at with it?
I am in the minority of. I wouldn't say minority. I enjoyed the game very much up until chapter 17.
Right.
Then that's when I was like, what in the fuck is going on? What are they smoking?
Oh.
I saw Barrett get stabbed, and I was like,
whoa.
What is going on? Whisper's bringing them back to life. I'm like, oh no.
It's gone that way.
Then the giant Heartless, and then you're fighting like Laz, Kadaj, and Lazu, and
it just goes crazy, doesn't it?
No, it just went like 0 to 100, like so fast, and I was like, what is going on? And then Sephiroth is the final boss, and I'm like, this is just, how are they gonna top Sephiroth being the final boss in the next game? You're gonna fight Sephiroth again? I mean, I guess there's ways they could do an evolved version of Sephiroth. They could do Roche. They could do Genova. But like, how much more impactful is he going to be than fighting the main villain?
Yeah.
But that's what makes me think he's not going to be the main villain. I don't know.
Spoilers.
Yeah. But overall, I enjoyed the game a lot. Favorite combat system by far in any Final Fantasy game.
Yeah, it's real good. It is
perfect
real good.
Hybrid of turn-based, and especially when Integrate came on, they fixed the aerial combat. I was like, oh my god, this is what I want to see. You can
see that they've been working on since probably about Final Fantasy 12. To be honest with you, like these little bits from each game's battle system woven into. Yeah,
they got. Honestly,
got like the stagger mechanics from 13 and stuff like that.
Part 2, if they put the Gambit system for the AI, would be fucking amazing.
So that they do certain things when you're not in control.
I kind of want it, but at the same time, I don't, because the thing I hate about 12, I know people have that, response that you don't have to use the Gambit system. You can do everything yourself, right?
You do, though.
But it's like, if it's there, why would I not use it?
Exactly, it's part of the game.
But my problem then with that is it makes the game auto play.
Yeah.
And it makes the game very easy and boring because you're not doing anything yourself.
Whereas 7 Remake gets fucking hectic.
Yeah, it gets crazy. Yeah. Maybe not like freaking 12 to 15 gambits, but maybe like 1 or 2 things you can set them to do. Like when I do this attack, or when someone's staggered and you have an ATB bar, then do your move to raise the stagger gauge or something like something like that. But yeah, overall, I love the combat. I absolutely love the music. The animations were amazing. Like, I think this is the most perfect lip sync I've ever seen in any game with voice acting before. And of course, the voice acting was top tier, JP and English. I've recently on my stream been playing through on JP voice acting.
Yeah.
So like kind of just like react to their voice acting. There's a couple of scenes I like a little bit better in JP because they do have a lot more emotion because they're accustomed to that kind of thing, the whole anime styled voice acting.
I have a theory on this. I have a theory on this. I was talking to Baby Seal about this on Discord like literally the other day. So I did it the other way around. I played Japanese first, and I have been playing in English. I've still not done a full playthrough in English, which I need to fucking do. But my theory is, the Japanese comes off better to us because if you listen to someone say a line in English and they do it shit, you know they've done it shit. If you listen to someone say a line in Japanese and do it shit, you haven't got a fucking clue that they've done it shit because you can't speak Japanese.
Yeah, you don't because you don't know Japanese, but it's that feeling you get from the emotion you're putting in it. And you're like, wow, I feel like they really put their all into this scene, even though I don't know what the fuck they said.
Yeah, it might sound cheesy, but to my ears, it sounds fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
So that's my theory on that.
That's probably those are all the things I liked. The only thing I disliked was probably like the last 10% of the game.
Yeah, it does take a
Zach
left.
showing up, all that
stuff. Yeah, we'll get into Zach in a second, actually, because him being your favourite character, I'm sure you've got some thoughts on that. But like it's Wednesday, the moment is when you bump into Sephiroth outside Genova. That is when the game just goes, nah, we're doing something completely fucking different now, boys. Yeah,
when you go into President Shinra's room and you're like, wait, Sephiroth's sword is not there. Where's the president? He's just hanging off. I'm like, okay, it's a little different. Maybe they just want to give a little bit more dialogue to Barrett and make the scene a little bit more powerful and back.
Yeah, around that confrontation.
Maybe Barrett's gonna kill him. Shit, I would even enjoyed that.
That would have been nice.
Yeah, and then that scene was just so weird. I didn't like it. I did not. I did not like that chase.
See, I think they shot themselves in the foot by calling it a remake. When it is a remake, but it's also a sequel. I get what Baby Seal says. It's both. You know what I mean?
Talk about this with Baby Seal and Night Sky Prince all the time.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we literally were just like talking in Discord the other day for like an hour about like why label this as a remake, and I think they should have just labeled it as a sequel. But I get why. Marketing and obviously it's remakes sell a lot.
Everyone's been crying for a remake since like
since the PS3 tech demo.
Seriously, before that, Final Fantasy X came along. When Final Fantasy X came along, I remember a little bit of a surge in people like, oh, imagine if 7 looked like this. Shit.
They did so many what do you call it? Having a brain fart here. Not pledge. What's the word I'm looking for here? I'm having a brain fart.
I mean, like the thing where they said the promise.
No, all those like all the people online were setting, God,
the petition things.
Petition. There you go. Jesus.
Remake 7. Remake 7.
Brain fart.
Do it.
Yeah. So many people signing it. So many so many times I saw that on so many forums. So many Reddit posts. I'm like, oh my God, they're never gonna stop with this. But remake.
I think they shot themselves in the foot with that because people are going in expecting Final Fantasy VII, and it isn't. It's not gonna be. I'm 100% in the camp of shit's gonna change.
Oh yeah, 100%. When they say they're gonna stay, like when they said, oh, we're gonna try and stay very relevant to things that happen, like main plot points in the story. That's some bullshit.
Lies.
That's some bullshit. They would not go out. Why do all this? Why all this build up and all this change? If you're
imagine if it did just play out the same now. Yeah, imagine if it did just play out exactly the same.
That would just be then I would hate part 1 even more.
Yeah.
Because then I would be like, why? Why did you do this?
What was the point? Yeah.
What was the point of Zack coming back? What was the point of fighting Sephiroth? what was the point of Jesse and Biggs or Wedge? Like what was the point of
Because they could all be alive realistically.
Oh, they
could all be alive.
Have you used the mod for the free camera?
No.
Okay, where Wedge gets thrown off,
Is
if you use a free camera, it's only like 20 feet.
That's
there's no way he died from that fall.
Oh.
So
there's
I
only
think
Jesse,
and he had an off-screen death.
That's rough. So this is see, and this is why I say it's got to be a sequel, because it cannot be Final Fantasy VII anymore. So many things have changed. I just can't see how it progresses the same.
Don't get me wrong. A lot of people hear me say like I don't like the last 10% or like I have issues with Remake of them changing stuff, but it's not like I didn't hate all the changes. I loved Roche. I loved chapter 3 and 4, where you're going to Jesse's parents' house and you get closer with Avalanche and you get more story with Avalanche and Wutai. And all that. You get more story with Leslie. They introduced Leslie as a character. There's just so many more like characters that they added depth to, or they added new characters in, and I love them. But again, it's just that last 10% of the game, and I'm like, why? Y'all, not even the last 10%. Actually, it's as early as you see the whispers in Cloud's room, like just hovering, Sephiroth just hovering over Cloud when he's sleeping, and just watching him, and then after they're trying to get Jessie to hurt her leg or whatever, that the whole whispers thing just annoys the crap out of me. But Baby Seal and Sleep Easy keep telling me
it's gonna be fine.
This is amazing. This is amazing plot point that they're doing here. They're building up for something amazing, and I'm putting my faith in it. But I would be lying if I didn't say that a part of me is scared shitless that it's gonna go way too far. But there's that tiny piece of me that's like, okay, maybe it'll be the greatest thing they've ever done, or maybe it'll be like Kingdom Hearts 3.
That is the worry. It's all going to kind of come down to the delivery of it, and like if they stick the landing, basically. That is what it's going to come down to. They've got this idea, they want to run with it. Cool, do it good. Do you know what I mean? Don't Dirge of Cerberus it. Do it good.
Don't fuck it up.
So Zach then, Zach.
Man, when they showed him, I was so torn, because I started playing FF7 Remake on stream, but then I had told my stream, I was like, you know what? I've been waiting for this game for like 20 years for the remake. I want to just enjoy this to myself. And then I'll play hard mode and I'll play with you guys live again. And we'll go through and see the lore and stuff together. Maybe things I missed. But the first time I played through, it's like 10 o'clock at night. I'm beating the game. I'm at the end. I see Zach show up and I see him live. And my immediate thing was like, oh my God, this is so crazy. And then like immediately after, when I beat the game, the credits roll, I'm just sitting there thinking for like 10 minutes go by and I'm like, oh no. What did they do?
Oh no.
So he's alive. So there's multiple timelines? Now I've had a lot of time to process this and listen to a lot of other theories and play the game and myself.
It is definitely one that you need to take a bit of time to process.
I think it's just one timeline. I think the timelines merge together. And it's also the same thing that Baby Seal and Sleep Easy are also of the same mind of as well. Especially when we see that stamp bag. A lot of people are like, oh, it's a red herring. No, Square Enix don't do that. Square Enix don't do red herrings.
It's there for a reason.
Slowing it down.
They've mentioned it in interviews.
They shove stamp in your face the whole game, everywhere. Every place you go, every sector 6, sector 7, underground, Shinra headquarters, like literally everywhere. They would not do that and then slowly show you that beagle. One. Is it the beagle or the terrier? Beagle, right? Show you the beagle stamp coming across, and you're like, wait, that's a different stamp bag. And he even said in an interview, oh, the stamp on there was different. Did you notice? He's like, oh, was it? Oh, I don't know.
Really?
Nemora's like, oh, was it? I don't know.
I never noticed.
Maybe it was.
Fucking little dick.
He's such a troll. Yeah. So I don't think it's a red herring. I think the timelines converged when the explosion happened.
Yeah.
And The only thing is like the questions that are left unanswered is like, okay, so then what happened to the cloud that was next to Zach? Did he die? Did he disappear? Like, where is he? You know, what is Zach? You know, Zach is, you know,
Is that coming
seeing
up behind the
Sector
party?
7
Yeah.
aftermath. Like, what? I just hope that in part 2 they explain something a
we need
little
it.
bit.
Yeah.
Because if they just go the whole game, I have the fear that they're gonna keep doing this to us until the end of the game, and then we're gonna see the conclusion, and we're like, oh, so that's what that meant 10 years later. I just hope that doesn't take that long.
So do I. I'll be fucking old.
Man, they're gonna lose a lot of people.
Yeah.
Because like, if you haven't noticed, sequels for Square Enix do not sell well at all.
In general, sequels tend to drop off quite a bit. Like, especially when you get to 3 and 4. Once you get to that 3rd and 4th game, you're in trouble potentially.
That's why I don't think they should have labeled it as remake. They should have just went. It's like a sequel and named it completely something different.
Reunion, some shit like that.
Yeah, something like that. Honestly, yeah. Because 13 is arguably the worst out of the series for the trilogy.
I will not disagree.
13-2 was way better than 13.
13-2,
and it sold like half. Yeah. And it sold like half because of how bad 13 was.
Yeah.
So if they do part 2 and they still don't explain and they leave more unanswered questions and more people get mad, more people, oh, is it this or is it that? And then you got people arguing online, no, it's not this theory, it's this theory. And it just gets to the point where people will probably be like, you know what? I'm just going to wait till all the games are out to like figure out if I want to buy it again or
100%.
not. Yeah.
And this is the thing as well, like, they've got to top what they did at the end of game 1 in game 2, realistically. It's got to be
and that was my problem with the Sephiroth fight.
Yeah.
How do you top fighting the main villain of the game?
In Advent Children. You're fighting him in Advent Children,
yeah,
basically.
That's Advent Children Sephiroth. You know that's an evolved Advent Children Sephiroth. Like, I just... like, they could just give him some... I mean, shit, maybe in part 2 we fight Bizarro Sephiroth. I don't know.
Evil Vincent. Genova's corrupted Vincent, and when you get to Nibelheim, you have to fuck him up and like give him a little
Could
slap.
Be Rufus.
That'd be bad. I think that'd be bad. Rufus
that would be bad. I honestly think it's going to be Roche.
I
feel like they're going to do the whole degradation thing with Roche.
Yes.
I feel like they're going to show some of that Crisis Core degradation stuff because President Shinra already talks about it right in the beginning of the game at the second reactor. He's like, he talks about Cloud. He's like, oh, degradation. You know, every soldier knows. And then Tifa's like, what is he talking about?
See, I think there's a possibility that they merge that storyline with the original idea for Yuffie, which was that she was kind of like a Shinra mercenary who was going to be chasing after Cloud and the party. That was the original concept for Yuffie. So I think they bring that in with whatever additional experiments Hojo does to Roche.
Oh yeah, he's definitely going to experiment on Roche. 100%.
He could be final boss material. Well, for part 2.
For part 2, I think after part 2 we might not see him anymore. Is my theory.
Yeah,
I don't think he's going to be all the way till the end of the game. If they make Roche the main villain, oh god, that'd be so awful. No. Yeah, I think he'll be like a part 2 boss. Could you imagine the 4th game and it's like, hey, Roche is the final boss. He evolved into something greater.
One of his legs has turned into a motorcycle. Like some Akira shit.
Oh my god, there's a lot of weird theories out there. I love Pez.
Pez is good.
Peasant. But some of his theories, man, I'm like, damn, what were you smoking?
Everything.
You give them too much credit. They do not think this hard about this story. I think there was one theory I actually enjoyed very much, but I was like, no fucking way would that ever happen. Was
it's good, but
the good guy Sephiroth. There's a theory where like it's Sephiroth before he got like contaminated with Genova, you know, and started going crazy. It was when he cared about his friends, but I highly doubt it. I think he's just being very manipulative.
This is very dangerous Sephiroth. This is
like
the most dangerous Sephiroth.
This is a more psychotic Sephiroth than we've ever seen.
And he's gonna mess with Cloud. He's gonna hurt him.
Yeah, because he wants to take. That's like
because he could have killed everyone. I'll
save that for the next question because I was going to say something. I'm just
you know what's coming. You know what's coming. Yeah. But no, he could have killed him at any point in Remake if he wanted to, Sephiroth. There's a plan.
He doesn't want to.
Yeah,
he wants to take over his body.
Yeah, there's body snatcher.
Who's the only person that's killed Sephiroth 2 times?
Who's the only person that hasn't shown the degradation as well from Genova?
Yep.
There's only Sephiroth and Cloud.
The failed experiment.
Zack maybe as well though, because like when he gets tested,
They were both experimented on. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
and it says that the Genova cells did nothing to him. There was just no reaction.
Listen, my initial theory was the game is going to end by Cloud and Zack side by side in the same
Live stream
timeline
sword
with a live stream Buster Sword that they make like Dragon Ball Z style. Give me your energy, Genki Dama.
And then
yes, and then
you
they're
flick
just
around the
gonna
world
cut
and
the
everyone's
crop.
like this.
Yeah. And they're gonna be like, oh, the only way to wipe him out of the live stream is to use the live stream itself, and then they're gonna cut him and he's gonna die. I'm telling you, if that happens,
I'm done. I'm out if that happens.
I'll install him. I'll delete my channel. I swear to God.
Oh, it'd be funny, but it would also be very depressing.
I don't even know. At that point, I'd just be like, you know what? This game was fun. I'm gonna go play OG now.
I'm gonna go and play the OG. Yes. See, this is it. This is the thing. Like people. This is why I think they hurt themselves by calling it a remake, because that makes people think that it's meant to replace the original game.
Yeah,
it doesn't. It is a different game. It just doesn't.
I think it's more of a culmination of the entire compilation.
Yes.
And in a way that they can close out the series as a whole and leave all unanswered questions out 100%. And answer all the plot holes that they have. Because there's quite a few plot holes.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of gaps there where it's like, right, I need to know that. I need to know that.
Especially
I need to know that.
Cerberus.
Oh, man.
So when I saw Dirge of Cerberus and Integrate, I was like, oh no. Why is there deep ground here?
I need the answers on the Vice and Genesis thing. Like, I need answers as to what that
Nero.
was.
I forgot about Nero.
Yeah, oh.
He killed my boy Sonon. I can't wait to kill that son-bitch.
He's going to be playing with Sonon like a puppet in front of you.
Yeah, and then Yuffie's going to have to fight him and kill him. It's going to be fucked up.
That's going to be, it is going to be pretty grim, that. Because I think it's going to be different, but I think it's going to follow a similar path to the original game. So I think they're being sort of truthful when they say it's going to stay the same. I think we'll visit everywhere in probably the same order, but different shit's going to happen at every single stop. That's what
I think that there's certain things we're not going to see. I think they're going to change a lot.
Like a skit thing, cut thing.
Yeah. To be fair, especially with not Cosmo Canyon, Fort Condor. They made it a mini game. How can you take it seriously in the story anymore when they literally turned it into a card game?
See, I think Fort Condor could maybe be interesting in remakes. I think that's where Avalanche are going to be, and I think that's where Wutai are going to be as well. You know, they're going to have a little fucking outpost.
I hope so.
Yeah,
because when I saw Fort Condor, I know it's a video game and they just wanted to add a mini game, but at the same time, that gets me thinking like, oh, this must not be anything serious anymore because like they're literally making a joke of it. Like,
this is it.
They're turning it into a chibi board game.
Yeah, a lot of people thought that's it. Fort Condor's cut now. And they're not going to cut it. They're not going to cut it. They're definitely not.
I don't think it's going to be cut, but I don't think we're going to see it in part 2. I think it's going to be something we come back to when we have to get the huge material.
Maybe we have to skip it.
Have to get huge material or anything like that.
Yeah,
because honestly, if they want to do this game in 3 parts,
they ain't doing it.
If they don't go to Arrows to Death, they need to cut some stuff. Yeah. There's no way.
Yeah, if they're going to expand it to the scale they expanded Midgar.
Yeah, there's so much. If you look at the video that I did with Final Fan TV with Danny, it was, man, we really took a step back and we looked at all the locations and all the different things that you do in OG. There's just no way that you could do this game, even in probably 3 parts, with all the stuff that is. There's so much NPCs, dialogue, locations. Imagine if you had to make every location like Sector 7, Sector 6, like that big scale, right? Like Calm is already going to be like a massive undertaking.
Yeah.
Then you're going to have Chocobo Farm.
Huge.
Then you're going to have the cave. After the cave, you have Fort Condor. And Junon's going to be huge, right? Junon's like Midgar. Then you got Costa del Sol, the ship. Like right there already, that's like way more than part 1.
And we already know Costa del Sol's being expanded because there was these weird little newspaper articles that they were giving out online, and one of them says about Costa del Sol how it's got loads of hotels and everything like that. So we know that's getting expanded.
Yep. I swear to God, I better get my fan service beach episode with Aerith and Tifa, or I'm gonna be upset.
You're gonna be disappointed.
I'm gonna look to the modders and I'm gonna say, okay, I'm gonna need you guys to do something.
Fix it. Yeah. Oh no, but yeah, I mean, Imagine if they expand all of those locations to a similar scale that they've done Midgar. And I'm not saying that we'll spend 30 hours in Junon, but like it's going to be a couple of hours for each location at the very least. Junon, that could easily become like a 5-6
Junon's
hour
going to be a
location.
massive part of the next game.
Yeah.
But if you think about how far they have to go, like realistically, if they want to do 3 parts, they have to go to Araseth. This is if they're even still doing the story the same way. Maybe the game doesn't end anymore with Meteor and the Northern Crater. Maybe it's completely different, you know.
Maybe shit changes straight off the bat. Yeah.
But if they're still going the same route as OG and the same locations, like they're saying,
they've got no chance of doing 3.
What did I just name? I named 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 locations already.
Yep.
And then after Kol Citadel Sol, you have what?
Coral.
The canyon. Coral.
You've got Coral. You've got the
you got the canyon. Right, you got to go through that little canyon to get the Mount Coral, and another cave, Mount Coral. Then you got the Gold Saucer. Then you got the underground of Gold Saucer, right? When you get thrown into jail, the prison. Then Nibelheim, and then Rocket Town. Nibelheim, Gongaga.
Cosmo Canyon.
There's so many. That location with the Raptor tank, right? The Triceratops tank, or whatever.
Yeah, Gongaga, where the blown up reactor.
Yeah, over there.
Yeah. So many places, and this is it.
Wow, and then still so many more places to go before Araseth. It's crazy.
And people think that we're going to get to the Temple of the Ancients or the City of the Ancients in this next game.
I think the game's going to end after Rocket Town, Part 2. That's what I think.
I'm thinking Nibelheim. That's my shout. So pretty much the same. Pretty much the same. Yeah. See, I think it'd be nice to start with Nibelheim in the Calm flashback.
It'd be such a big cliffhanger, wouldn't it?
What with
at Nibelheim? Oh my god!
It depends what they do though, because they've got to slip something in. They've got to slip something in to make it.
Oh man, I just realized if they did end it at Nibelheim, we wouldn't even be able to play with Vincent.
Yeah, that's why I'm thinking Evil Vincent might be a thing. And then he joins us after we've beat him up and sorted him out.
He's the final boss. He just turns into his...
he just goes Chaos.
Goliath? No.
Imagine he just goes Chaos mode. Because Sephiroth will know about all that shit.
Oh, that's true.
So imagine he does something and Vincent just goes fucking Chaos mode.
I wonder
I'm not
how
saying
they're going
this
to do
is likely,
chaos,
by the way. Yeah, I'm not saying this is likely. This is just where my weird brain goes.
Yeah. I mean, damn, I wouldn't put it past them. They're already doing some weird shit. Look at the plot ghosts.
But they need something for there, and it can't be Sephiroth. It cannot be Sephiroth again. Sephiroth
now, if we just play Sephiroth every game, it just like makes... It makes him not as like it makes it not as powerful, right? Like fighting Sephiroth every time. It's like, okay, cool. What you got for me next time, bro?
No, Sephiroth now, leave him alone until the very end. Right until the very end.
Yeah, I hope so.
Just
show him getting more cynical, more manipulative, more
let him come and fuck
controlling, more scary.
Yeah.
Like, give us that same feeling we had in the original where the build up to this crazy villain, that psychopath, right? That's what he was.
You don't even see him till the boat.
No. Until the boat, and you don't even hear words from him.
And you don't even recognize you.
Floating.
He's like, who are you?
Yeah.
Who the fuck are you?
And then after that, it's what? Temple of the Ancients, right? Where he's like
you pretty much just
cloud
following. People are saying they've seen him, but you don't actually see him until
you just see the wake of his destruction.
Actually, no.
Like the
Nibelheim basement when he throws a materia at you. Yeah. There's that, and then there's the temple.
Yep.
So barely see him. Whereas in this one, he's literally been licking Cloud's face throughout most of Remake.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, Cloud. How's it going, baby? Take it, Cloud.
Whispering sweet nothings into his ear.
Oh, he's definitely, I'm worried for Cloud. I'm scared for Cloud.
You and me both.
I'm genuinely scared for Cloud. He's going to have a bad fucking time. He's going to have a real bad time. So yeah, you're positive, but you're a bit, what are they going to do next?
At this point, like with part 1, I had this huge like, oh my god, they're gonna fuck it up, they're gonna ruin it, they're gonna ruin my favorite game of all. But you know what? After playing it a bunch of times and like having time to sit on it, I'm just thinking of this now as this game's fun.
Yeah.
And if I ever want the OG story, I can go back and play OG.
Exactly.
You got Sunamods doing Echo S. They're voice acting the whole thing. You got the crazy mods, 60 FPS now.
Hey.
Like,
I'm gonna stream the 60 FPS tonight. I'm gonna do
so
the
good.
final
I already
fights.
installed it. It's
It's
so good.
insane. Yeah, it is
It's
really
so
nice.
good.
Some of the spells look really fucking good as well. Like Flare looks
Yep.
beautiful in 60
Shout out to him
FPS.
too. I mean, because I
Yeah,
think
sooner, man.
Kotaku and a couple of gaming articles are like talking about it and posting his video and stuff. So good on him.
Nice.
They deserve it.
Nice. Yeah, they do crazy work. I can't wait for the next Echo S demo, to be fair. Looking
Yeah.
forward to it. We need to get ourselves in there. Well, you're
My
already
yeah.
not going to talk
My
about
cameo's
that.
already in there.
Not going to
Yeah.
talk
He's
about that.
working on it.
We're not going to talk about that. That was a fun night.
Yeah,
That was,
he's working on it. Oh
hey,
yeah.
good stuff, good stuff. Nah,
Yeah.
it was a fun night. It was a good laugh. It
That
was a
was
good
a
laugh.
fun night.
Okay, I'm looking forward to the next one. Looking forward to the next one.
I know, it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, they just go for it as well. That's the thing. That's the thing I love about them, because they get an idea and they're just like, let's fucking do it.
Let's put it on
I
paper.
rate it. I rate it 100%.
So, yeah, the what I was I just forgot what I was saying. Yeah, like from the future games now, I'm not worried anymore. I still am, but like at this point, I'm just like amazing music. I'm looking forward to the new music in the next parts. I'm looking forward to seeing the cutscenes, because the cutscenes are amazing.
Visually,
the
it's stunning.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And the gameplay, the most fun
Banging.
Final Fantasy game I've ever played. I could
Banging.
literally go back. I've beaten the game so many times to the point where I've done speedruns for the game. So like I'm not even like sick of the game, and I'm just really excited to just enjoy the game now. So
yeah, I'm enjoying it on PS5 in its beautiful butteriness, because it is so nice on PS5. Oh my god.
So it's just at the point where if they don't do something that I like, whatever. At least I enjoy. At least it's a good game. That's all I can say about it now. I'm just here for the ride.
Yeah, this is it. I think the thing with me is like I'm viewing it now as a sequel rather than a remake. So because of that, it's not like I'm not holding it to any standards. I'm going to leave it to be its own thing.
Yeah, when I first beat it, I was, because I was like, this is not.
Yeah,
this is not the game I remember.
Yeah, it took me a week or two to be like, wait a minute.
Yeah. And then he even said it. I'm pretty sure they even said in an article that this is a sequel.
Fifth part of the compilation, they said.
Yeah.
Oh. But it's fun, and that's the main thing. As long as it stays fun and the story stays interesting, I'm in. Because I mean, we're all talking about it. What, nearly 2 years later?
2 years later. Yep, they're doing a good job.
Yeah,
that's why I'm thinking they're going to give us a teaser video in about a week and a half, 9 days from now.
Just like a little 10-second,
just a 5-second teaser, bro. We're gonna. Do you see the tessellations on that 5-second teaser?
Just give me a little drip of milk. I'll be happy. Just feed me a little drip.
I know.
I'll be happy.
And we'll be talking about that 5-second teaser trail for a year.
For another year, yeah. We will milk that shit for all it's worth. Now.
I just hope they don't do what they did with the trailers from the first game. That was so bad, dude.
Yeah, very spoiled. That final trailer.
After the first trailer, I stopped watching them. I was like, oh my god.
I
went back with Blitz the other day to watch the final trailer. They literally show Zack.
Yeah.
I'm like,
wait, what?
that is the biggest twist in the game. They show Sephiroth at the end of the highway. They show the Heartless.
They show Barrett getting stabbed, don't they?
Yeah. They literally spoil everything. So I'm praying they don't do that for part 2. If they do, I'm not watching the trailers.
Yeah, they need to be better with the trailers, definitely. Yeah, it's like just
Final Fantasy 14 does it perfectly. I've
not seen
make you
of the
think
trailers.
That certain things are going to happen when you see the trailer for the expansions.
Yeah.
And then you go through the game and you're like, oh, that's what happened. That's not what I thought was going to happen. And they totally like just make you do a 360.
And that's good with it, because it subverts you, and it kind of gives you something but gives you nothing at the same time. Yeah, it's giving you what you want, but at the same time it's actually giving you nothing. Yeah, because it's actually not that.
Only thing it gave you was hype. That's it.
And that's what a trailer is all about. Get that fucking hype. Now, speaking of getting that hype, music. It's the tough one. It's the tough one. So, what's your favourite piece of music in Final Fantasy VII in general? The compilation, remake, all of it. You can. I'm not going to be mean. You can have a few. This is hard. It's the roughest question. Roughest question.
I did say earlier that I love The Price of Freedom in Crisis Core. I think that song is very powerful. But if I had to let me talk about just remake for a second. Remake.
Yeah, break it down. Break it down. Break it down.
Hollow in remake is one of my favorites because the lyrics in that song are absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
And it's such a powerful song. if I'm talking like battle wise, the as much as I hate these fucking things, the whispers, the song that plays when the whispers come out for the first time, you're like, holy shit.
Oh
Airbus was
yeah,
really
yeah.
good, but the
Airbuster.
orchestral, like really like
Yeah,
horror kind of song that comes on when you're fighting the whispers when they're
yeah. I know what you
surrounding
mean.
Sector 7 was, oh my god, that was so good.
Yeah, it just hits you, doesn't it?
Um yeah,
Yeah.
that's the only thing I liked about them.
Oh
um
shit.
um oh no, one more song from Remake. This will be the last one from Remake. One of my favorite songs in the OG is the song that plays. I forget, is it Those That Are Chosen by the Planet? I can't remember the name of the song. I don't think that's it. It's the one that plays when you come out of the it's like the very menacing one in OG. The dun, 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 dun,
Oh
that
yeah,
one.
yeah, yeah.
The new rendition they did in Remake of that song that plays when Cloud's having the
When he's
flashback
having his moment, yeah.
of seeing Nibelheim and that song's playing. Oh my god, was so good. Actually, no, that plays more prevalently during when on the highway when he's opening the portal.
Yeah.
That oh my god, it was so good. Um, yeah, those are my favorite ones in Remake. In the OG,
Ooh.
I'm gonna have to say Sid's theme.
Yes.
Sid's theme is
Yes.
my favorite theme in the
Yes.
game.
It finally
It's so
happened.
good, dude.
Yeah, I'm with you, bro. I am
Especially in the
100%
OG
with
when
you.
he's giving that speech on the highway and this song just starts playing after. I'm like, yeah, let's fucking go, Sid.
What's it?
Where's my goddamn tea?
We got the fucking tea,
Yorkshire
boys.
tea.
We got the fucking tea. Let's go.
That's funny, dude.
Yorkshire tea sponsor
Yeah.
me. The missus
Yeah, the
taught me
Sid's
that for
theme
Christmas as a
in
random
OG.
fucking present.
That's a big bag of tea, dude.
480 tea bags.
Holy crap, you got tea for
1.5
the next
kilos of
year or
tea.
two, dude. Oh my god.
1.5 kilos. Anyway, go on. Sorry, you were saying.
Oh, that's that's fine. Yeah, other than that, I don't want to put too many because you said the favorite,
Sid's
but there's
theme.
so many good.
Yes.
I mean, I feel like it's disrespectful to just say one because Nobu Uematsu is a god.
Yeah, it's rough. There's so
I'm so
many
sad
good
that he's
ones.
retiring. Makes me sad for part 2. He said he wasn't going to do full soundtracks
Yeah, he's going to
anymore, but
do
I hope he still
bits.
works on certain themes.
Yeah. I
Like,
expect
dude, you
we'll
better
see
still
his
do
name
Sid's theme.
credited on a lot of like the main themes. So like maybe
Yeah,
he works on the main theme of the game and then the team.
yeah, because Fantasian was the last full
Yes.
soundtrack that he did. But he still did a couple of things for oh, what was the other game that he said he was going to do work on? I remember he said he was still going to do like a couple things here and there, but
Yeah,
not
I
full
know he's
soundtrack.
doing the Pixel. He's been
That's
heavily
yeah,
involved
the
in the
Pixel
Pixel
remasters. Yeah.
remasters. Yeah. Oh, I can't wait for that. 6.
Honestly, other than Sid in the OG FF7, other than Sid's theme, On Our Way. That's such a beautiful song. Like, it makes me so emotional every time I hear it. Even in the remake, it's so good.
So, it is a tough one. There's a lot of good music in remake. Like even Crisis Core has got some brilliant music
Crisis
in
Core
it.
has some beautiful music.
Yeah. It is a tough one. It is, but I'm so glad.
Service, I'm not gonna lie, I don't remember the music in Dirge Service at all. I kind of just
Yeah.
try to forget that game exists completely.
What game? It's fucking horrible.
Advent Children actually has some really good music too.
Has a few moments, yeah, definitely.
And you
has a
can
few
kind of hear
moments.
some of their tracks a little bit in
Yeah.
some of the songs in remake.
Yeah. No, I do like it. I do like it. But I'm so glad that someone's finally said Sid's theme. You've made my day. Because that is
Really,
100%
none of the
my
other none of the
No
other
one else
people have
said
said
Sid's
Sid's theme. Bro, what?
I don't know what's wrong with
Sid's
them.
theme
I
is
don't know.
amazing.
I don't know. I know. I'm with you.
Especially like when you get to that point in FF7 where you're flying around the Highwind and that song plays all the time. I would literally just fly around the map in the Highwind.
I like the
with that
acoustic one, like the more acoustic one.
Acoustic one's really good.
Ding, ding.
Oh, when he's telling the story of what happened in the rocket and stuff, when it's very oh my god, so good.
Mate, that one gets me.
I can't wait to hear that in remake. Oh, I can't wait to hear in remake.
I can't wait for Sid to just be running
See,
around
that's the
slapping people
things
with
that
tea
makes me
bags.
so excited for remake. Those things like that. Even though I know they're probably going to change so much, it's stuff like that I know that I can still look forward to. The remixing of the new rendition of certain
Because
themes.
we're still going to meet these people.
Seeing places in 3D and really good graphics, you know. You're still going to get that nostalgia out of it, right?
Actually,
like,
you know what? Rocket Town's going to be pretty crazy when we get there. If you think about it, a little tiny village with a massive fucking rocket leaning to one side.
I think they're going to censor Sid like hardcore.
I love Sid. I do love Sid.
I do. I think they're gonna censor him really
yeah,
hard.
definitely. Yeah, he's not going to be. I don't.
He's not gonna be like, you goddamn bitch, give me my tea. Nah, he's not. He's just, you can't do that anymore,
Yeah,
dude.
they've got to tone him down at least.
You
They've got
can't
to tone
do,
him
yeah.
down. Yeah,
He better still see. He better still say, "Where's my goddamn tea?" You don't have to call her the B word.
Yeah, yeah. Just drop that.
Come
Just
on,
drop that.
just drop that. Just give me my goddamn tea.
Drink it.
If I don't hear that line,
I'm
I'm probably gonna walk out of the room midstream.
Yes.
I need a break.
I'm done for a bit. I've got everything that I need from this game now.
I'm just gonna ask Crane. Hey, Crane, can you just voice act this real quick and put it in again?
Oh shit. Oh, hey, they've been going crazy with mods then, boys. Recently.
Oh, I don't know if you saw.
Oh, I've seen. I've seen.
Mods and Crane showed me like
The
literally
Zach.
I rated him as he figured it out. He was like, "Oh, look what we just found out, Legionz," and he literally voiced over Sephiroth. I was like, man, nothing against the voice actor for Sephiroth, but that was way better. And I can't wait for the actual Echo S. I know they've
uploaded a Zach video to YouTube. I think it was.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure they've done that. I don't know what.
Honestly, the Echo S actor for Zach sounds so similar to OG Zach from Crisis Core. It's crazy. Who's the one that plays Sephiroth? I forgot his name. David Doyle. David Doyle.
Yeah,
that's his name. The one that does Echo S Sephiroth. Apparently, he's going to do a voiceover for the mod over Sephiroth's voices. So, and Sunamod said that he's going to make it all configurable. So, like, we can choose whose voices. Yeah.
That's good. That'll be good. Yeah. That'll be an interesting one to say. It's good that we can finally get into modding. Like, my PC can barely even fucking run Final Fantasy VII Remake, unfortunately. Otherwise, I would definitely be jumping in on this. But it's fun to see some of the mods.
Man. I literally check the site every single day for new mods.
See what's up there.
I saw the Thick Tifa mod 2 days ago. I was like,
yes.
I need this.
Click.
Right now.
Oh, I love it. I absolutely love it. No, I know Baby Seal's been going crazy with the mods as well, and yeah, it does look fun. It does look fun. I'm just enjoying it on PS5 at the minute, just in buttery smooth.
It's so good with 60 FPS performance mode.
Oh my!
Some people play with graphic mode, and I'm like, no. Go play on performance mode. Trust me, it is life changing.
Because the graphical upgrade is still pretty monumental. Yeah, even in performance
you don't
mode.
notice the difference between the graphical and performance, but you do notice the difference in FPS.
Yeah, 100%. Oh, it's very fun.
It's so smooth. I was like, oh, this is what it should have been like. Oh my god, so good.
It does make me wonder why why didn't they just wait for PS5? But you know. I suppose it is what it is.
Then we would have waited longer.
I know. But then we wouldn't have had bad door textures.
But then we wouldn't have the memes.
True. Actually, yeah, all for the memes.
We gotta embrace the memes.
Yeah, all for the memes. No, I am wrong on this one. All for the memes.
So the skybox was worse than the door. God damn, that was awful.
Sephiroth's
I remember my first playthrough and I was like, chat. Why the fuck is there a JPEG in a PS4 game? What? Why is there a JPEG as the background? Why is it blurry?
Yeah. It was so bad. There's a moment where, you know, the cat side quest in Sector 3, when you run up to one of the cats, and on my version at least, that patch of floor where that cat has stood always takes like 3 minutes to render in or something like that. So it zooms in on this cat and you can just see this fucking horrifying texture underneath it. And yeah, it's not cool. It's not cool.
I remember.
It's not cool. It's not cool.
Don't have to see that anymore.
But they fixed it now. They fixed it. It's all good now. We got the memes and then they fixed it. So
now we just have McDonald's Sephiroth, okay?
God. Nightmares. Nightmare fuel, mate. Honestly.
When Baby Seal showed me that, I was like, oh my god, what have you done?
Yeah, like, what is this madness? What have you created?
I love it and I hate it at the same time. The memes are going to be so great from this.
Oh, the memes are just everywhere at the minute. Like the Daddy Zach meme, I'm upset about that.
The memes need to come back. Yeah. I would rather see the memes than seeing the hentai Tifa being played at an Italian government conference.
It had to be Italy as well, man. It couldn't be anyone but Italy, could it? Do you know what I mean? As a European, I feel like I'm
that
allowed
guy
to
has
say
good taste, but like that's besides the point.
It just had to be an a horny Italian
individual
just
right
sat
there.
like, oh
he
yes,
definitely got fired.
Yeah. Oh, mate. Imagine if that was us, like you get spotted you're in a Zoom call and you just start sharing your screen and it's just teeth
The worst
apart.
is if he probably was married, his wife was probably like,
Didn't I read somewhere that is a Nobel Prize winner or some shit? I'm sure I read that shit somewhere.
oh my god, that's insane.
Seriously, like, I'm sure I read that shit. I'll double check that later, but yeah, madness. Absolute madness. Someone definitely got fired for that.
100%.
Right, so we're into the final two questions, and these are the fun ones.
Oh.
So the first one is what are you looking forwards to now from Remake? What do you need out of Remake? What you know, what does Remake need to do to make you happy?
to make me happier than
Yeah.
the first one?
Yeah. How can it bring you fully
They
back
need
on board?
to explain two things. Aerith needs to give some kind of explanation as to what the fuck happened on the bridge.
Yes, 100%.
Why? Where did that speech come from? Where did her knowledge of all this come from? Why does she know the things that she does? She doesn't have to explain everything. You can leave some mystery if you want, but
Just
like
something.
Yeah, explain it a little bit. If they just continue on like they did in the post credits of Intergrade,
Oh well,
just
let's
walking
go.
towards Calm and like nothing happened. Like no, like you need to tell us something. Like I need to know something about why you know the things you do and why we had to fight Destiny and all that. And two, they need to explain. So for a lot of casual people that don't look on Twitter and don't watch theory videos, people that just play the game for themselves and that's the only content they get out of the game, those people don't even seem to understand that there's like a different timeline or merged timelines or anything like that.
They need to
do
going on.
Yeah. They just know that they're confused. That's all they know. They're like, okay, maybe they'll explain it in the next game. They need to like reiterate and let us know, is this a merged timeline?
Yeah, what is the situation?
Is this going to be completely different from the original timeline? Everything's out the window. Is Biggs alive? Is Wedge alive? Is Jesse alive? Is Zach showing up to the aftermath of Sector 7? Is that what's going on there in that scene? Like, they need to explain that, in my opinion, to make me happy.
Yeah.
But if they just continue on and pretend like nothing happened, and then the end of the game again, there's another big what the fuck moment, and we're all confused again, I'm gonna be so over it at that point. I'm gonna be all theory crafted out.
Yeah, if they're just stringing
like,
you, because it feels like they're just stringing you along a little bit at that point, doesn't it? Yeah,
like,
I get what you're saying.
They're like, hey, the next game's not gonna come out for another 4 years, so we're just gonna string you along and give you a little bit of hype.
The answers are coming later.
Yeah, I hope they don't do that again. For the first game, it was, you're building the suspense, get it, but like you got to explain some things in the second one.
Yeah, this is why I hope we get to Cosmo Canyon, because I think Bugenhagen's going to know shit. Like I think flat out, and this is kind of why I think Nibelheim might be a good finishing point, because we can have a chapter or two in Cosmo Canyon with Bugenhagen, learn all the shit, and then go and confront whatever's at Nibelheim. I think that could be fun. But yeah, I'm hoping Bugenhagen gives us a lot of answers, because I can't see anyone else who does. I honestly can't think of anyone else who does, except Aerith.
Yeah. And I hope we see, like, in the original, right? You see, like, Aerith in certain locations speaking to the planet.
Yeah.
But it's like, it comes off as so weird in OG, right? You can't really tell that much, right? Until you get to the Temple of Ancients. I hope they show more of that in Remake. Like, they show her speaking to the planet. You kind of see it a tiny bit in part 1, where she's talking to the flowers in her garden, and then Cloud's like, say anything back, stuff like that.
Cloud.
She's like, no, they didn't say anything, but, don't think I'm crazy, blah, blah. But I hope in part 2 that, like, she actually can commune with the planet. But what it seems like happened with the Whispers is, this is my fear, right, for part 2, that I want them to explain what the whole thing with Aerith was, but it seemed like the more that the Whispers touched Aerith or got close to her, they were like erasing what she knew. And I feel like in part 2, they're just gonna be like, oh yeah, the Whispers are gone, so she no longer knows anything.
Yeah.
Everything is different now. There's the unknown journey, right? Continues, so we don't know, and she doesn't either. So like, I just pray that that's not what happens. I just want them.
You need some context and some explanation.
Put some context. Don't leave the whole thing a mystery, because it's one thing if you do that in a game and then like there's another game the next year, or even like you do it at the beginning of the game, and then towards the end you're like, oh, the twist.
And when
That's
there's
what
a
happened.
4-year wait.
Yeah, like Final Fantasy 14 expansions do this perfectly.
Yeah.
And they start the expansion off with showing you some crazy shit.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh my God. And it leaves you so many unanswered questions. But by the end, or the patch, the post
The
expansion
post
patch,
MSQ.
they give you the other MSQ, and you're like, oh my God, that's so crazy. And you see
It circles back round.
It circles back around, and you got more knowledge on what's going on, and you finally see the twist and the conclusion of what you were trying to see. But if they do that with Remake and they take 3 to 4 years to come out with another game, it's just going to lose so much hype, and I think people are just going to get over it. At
the
that point.
momentum will die. People will just be like, "Oh, really?"
You can't take too long if you do things like that.
Yeah, which is kind of why I was thinking we might end up getting smaller parts. But I mean, it's been what, 2 years now. They will have already been working on Remake.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see Remake until 2023, unfortunately, because of 16 and the pushbacks they've already had. And even like 16 said that stuff that they had outsourced, and Square Enix does this a lot with a lot of games. So they were saying that stuff that they had outsourced for 16 got canceled completely, and then they had to do in-house. So I'm assuming that probably happened to Remake as well, and then probably put them further out as well, because they probably tried getting stuff outsourced as well, and they probably couldn't get it because of COVID or whatever it is excuse that they're
whichever one they want to run with.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see it till 2023. I think we're going to see a trailer this year, with maybe a release window, but I don't think we're going to see the game this year at all.
Well, I think it's November is the 35th anniversary of the whole franchise. So yeah, I think if we don't get anything for Remake Part 2 now, that will be when we get it. Hopefully.
Could be a state of play randomly,
it could be anything
like they did before.
Yeah, it could just
Isn't
be
that how they announced?
Moment.
Was that at E3, or it was a state of play trailer first, and then they showed gameplay at E3, right? Yeah, that's what it was.
I think so. Yeah.
It was like 4 years or something until they finally showed something else. All we had was the concept art.
Yeah.
For like 4 years.
Thanks,
I hope that's not what it is again. Oh my God, that'd be so bad.
That would be rough. That would be pretty rough. I would be upset about that. So this is the one. It's predictions time. Do you have a prediction for the future of Final Fantasy VII Remake? It can be mechanics, story, whatever you want to predict. Something that you think is definitely going to happen in Remake.
One of the main ones, besides the one I made joking earlier about the Cloud and Zach making the live
stream sword. That's a possibility. I would not put that past him.
I'm curious about it.
I would not put that past him.
Besides that, there's the theory I have with Aerith. I think they are going to make you think that you can save her. And when it comes down to it, Sephiroth is already messing with Cloud's head way more than he was in the original.
Yeah.
He's already calling Genova mother in the Shinra building.
Yeah.
He's seeing Nibelheim in like literally in the beginning of the game. He's getting so much like PTSD already.
Yeah, he's on him straight away.
And I think from here on out, it's only going to get worse.
Yeah.
And I think by the time we get to Aerith's death, he's going to see past that moment that he kept seeing, right, of her death, and he's like, oh, maybe she's safe. I think Sephiroth is going to do his illusion thing, or Genova Sephiroth is going to do the typical illusion thing like she did in the Shinra building, and Cloud is going to think that Aerith is Sephiroth, right? He's going to stab Sephiroth, and that's how Aerith's going to die.
Oh, Bleach vibes. When Aizen gets Momo stabbed.
Yep.
Oh, Bleach vibes. Bleach vibes.
Yep. That's what I think that's how she's gonna die.
That'd be horrible.
Would be
not horrible as in bad, but
yeah, it would be sad, right?
Yeah,
oh man,
yeah,
that would be so. The amount of distraught that would be on Cloud.
Yeah, it'd be done.
Like if you thought Cloud was messed up in Advent Children, oh my God, if he, instead of thinking that he was guilty for her being dead, but he was the reason she actually died.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
His head had
They're
popped.
like, oh, you guys thought we weren't gonna make this scene any more sad. Well, here it is.
Oh.
If they kill Tifa, I can't say
Oh.
what I would do because
Oh.
it involves something illegal, but I would be flying to Japan.
See, I don't know. I do think the Aerith thing's going to change. I don't think it's going to happen at the same point. I'm 50-50 on whether it'll happen at all.
Yeah.
If it does happen, it'll probably happen later, though, I think. Later on in the story. That's where I'm at. So, yeah.
If it doesn't, I feel
it's
like
the most spoiled moment in gaming. Like, they've got to change it.
Yeah.
Even if you ignore the story and the fact that
I'm not saying they have
changing,
to do it the same way, but I think she still has to die somehow.
Possibly. You never know.
Because if she doesn't die, I'm gonna get massive Dragon Ball Z vibes from this game. Don't worry about anybody dying. We're just gonna get the Dragon Balls and wish everybody back to life. The plot ghosts are gonna come bring everybody back to life. And it's like the whole theme of OGFF7 was how valuable life was and how much death was a very prominent theme in the game and loss. And I feel like they're just taking it all away. Everyone in Sector 7 was saved, pretty much. Jesse didn't die. Supposedly, Jesse didn't die. Barrett gets brought back to life. Biggs doesn't die. Wedge probably also didn't die.
If I remember correctly, not a single character that you get a name for dies in Platefall.
Yep. Nope. Not a single one. Except for Jesse's parents.
Yeah.
Unless they evacuated, but I don't think that's it. They said in Ultimania 50,000 people died.
So. Yeah, so I assume they're in that group. Although you never know, they might have evacuated. There was some weird shit going on with Jesse's dad with the Mako poisoning and everything. So they might have evacuated him to a laboratory.
Yeah.
And left Jesse's mom there. Like, yeah, you stay here. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. So I hope they don't just save everybody and keep everyone alive, because that's just. Man, that they never do that in Final Fantasy games. There's got to be some kind of very powerful, prominent death.
There's got to be a loss.
Story. Like with 6, you got the twins, right? Is it the twins and 6? Yeah. Oh no, that's 4.
It's Strago in it.
Yeah.
It's 6.
Strago,
it's Strago in 6. I had to remember. I think for a second then, like, fuck.
I was thinking about Palm and Porm. But that's sad to see. Like shit like that really impacts the story a lot. Yeah.
See, I'm hopeful that Aerith has a chance because Aerith, but at the same time, I do think someone's going to do it.
I think
it could become a sacrifice thing.
She has to.
Yeah, she'll get the information that she's not had yet, and she'll realize like
maybe that's one of the stipulations for Holy. You have to sacrifice yourself for Holy to work. They never explained that in OG.
Possibly, because it doesn't seem to be activated.
The whole game, she
can't
says,
see it, can you? So you don't know.
That's good for absolutely nothing.
Yeah, and you can't see it until after she's been stabbed, and that's when it pops out. So you might be onto something there,
Maybe.
Could actually be on something. But yeah, I've had this feeling that it could end up that she ends up being saved, and then later on in the game realizes like, wait a minute,
I gotta sacrifice myself to save everybody on the planet.
Need to go and do some shit. Yeah, one of them kind of situations.
Cloud in the forest, like me and NSP were talking about that. The deal.
Yeah, it is literally that when she, because he's in.
It's like don't worry about it, Cloud. I'll take care of everything from here.
Yeah, and she knows at that point. She knows what's going to happen at that point.
Yeah, she already knows that she's good. And I feel like that. I can't wait for the deal scene in Remake. I can't wait to see what they do with that. I keep saying these things, but like we don't even know if we're still going to see the stuff the same way. That's what worries me.
It's how much it's going to change. Yeah, I mean, I kind of at this point now, given what they've already done in Remake, I'm like, let's go, change everything. Fuck it. Let's see what you got. Yeah, that's where I'm at with it now.
Like I don't care. Like I'm not one of those like purists that don't want anything to change. I want them to do changes. I love the changes that they did, because who wants the same story? Like you already know everything that's going to happen. Like it's not. There's not going to be any impact if Aerith does die the same exact way, because you're like, oh, I saw this coming.
Don't get me wrong.
I've already seen this.
If they did it, I'd buy it.
Yeah,
100%.
Right?
No, if they did it, if they did a remake 1-for-1, I'd buy that shit. 100%.
Oh yeah, I still would too. But I would enjoy it a lot more if they added on. Like the changes they did in 3 and 4, chapter 3 and 4, they added new characters, they added Roche,
Oh
they
yeah, I
added more
want an
story to
expansion
certain
like
characters,
that. Oh,
they add
100%.
backstory to Leslie, like stuff like that.
Yeah,
Um,
that's all good. It's the crazy
it's the
story
convoluted
changing
stuff.
stuff.
Yeah, that's very
If
convoluted.
they were doing like 1-for-1's the wrong thing, but yeah, with the expansions and stuff like that, I'd have been perfectly fine with that. But
Me
now
too.
that they have changed it, it's like, right, well, you need to justify this change.
Yeah, that's one thing that I talk about with other content creators very heavily. I'm like, if they went this hard with like how crazy the plot ghosts and timelines merging and Zack's alive and you're fighting Sephiroth. Sephiroth has a wing. He's already like all knowing. They got to keep going with this theme because if they just like, all right, now we're back to the regular game. Everything's normal. It's just going to be
Can
like,
you imagine?
what the fuck was the point of the first game? What was the point? What was
Can
the
you
point?
imagine? Can you imagine? That'd be fucked.
Oh, I would. That would be the one thing that would really piss me off.
That'd be painful.
If they just like absolutely stayed. I don't think they're going to, but
no, it's going to be interesting to see how things pan out over the next few years. I think when we get that first trailer for Remake Part 2, that's when we'll kind of get a good idea what direction things are going to start going, because we'll be able to notice things.
Nomura is not the lead director anymore.
He's a creative director.
Yeah,
but
creative director.
He's kind of hovering around.
Aste is leading it now, right?
Yeah. Hamaguchi.
No.
Hamaguchi?
Yeah.
Yeah, Hamaguchi.
Yeah.
But yeah, Nomura's still going to be there or thereabouts, but yeah. He's stepping back a bit because apparently he has so many projects.
Yeah, he's working on so many projects. He's doing like
he's got like 7 more Kingdom Hearts games in the back burner.
Yep.
That's what it is.
And he's doing the anime. I don't know if it's the FF9 anime or if it's FF7.
Well, yeah,
but he is doing something that's Netflix related.
Yeah, this is it. Last year there was 2 rumors. You had the FF9 animated kids show, but then there was rumors about a Netflix FF7 show as well that kind of popped up.
I think me and Baby Sue were talking about it. It could be a Trace as a 2-path thing.
That'd
like
be
something
nice.
like that. That would be really cool if they did like an Aerith and Tifa backstory.
You know what else I'd be interested in? The Vincent backstory. In that kind of I think Vincent's could be good if you did that. You know, like his time in the Turks and everything that went down with him and Hojo and Lucretia. I think that could be fun. I think
he's going to be a DLC like Yuffie was.
I think he's going to get
like if the game ends at Nibelheim or Rocket Town, I think there's going to be a DLC.
Possibly.
For Vincent.
Possibly. I mean, Nomura kind of hinted that this is the only DLC that they were going to do, but companies say that shit all the fucking time.
For part 1, though, I think he said
that's his
part
get out. Yeah, that's his get out. You could, I meant part 1.
Yeah,
exactly. They'll just make some DLC. So yeah, I don't buy that. But like genuinely, Vincent's got to get something. Vincent,
if they want to keep the hype for the game alive, if it's going to take them another 3 or 4 years to make the game, they have to do DLC, or people are just going to be so sick of waiting so long for the
bored.
Next game. Yeah. Like, look at us now. We're still talking about Integrate and all the changes they didn't integrate because, you know, how good it was. And we're still talking about a year later. It's almost been a year already.
Yeah, I think the advantage they've got at the minute is because First Soldier's dropped, Ever Crisis is on the way. So there's still things burning hype. They're not going to have that between part 2 and part 3 because Ever Crisis will be out.
They said that so many things from the compilation are going to be coming out in 2022. Like, they said it's going to be a big year for the compilation of FF7 in 2022. So
imagine
if Ever Crisis.
Imagine if they come at us with another movie. Can you imagine? Just out of nowhere. Like, because I wouldn't put it past them.
Kingsglaive was so fucking good.
Kingsglaive was real good. I enjoyed it.
Way better than Advent Children, in my opinion. Way better than 15.
As a movie, way better than 15. Yeah, I was going to say.
When I played the vanilla version of 15,
were you a launch guy like me?
I got to go watch the movie.
Did you
I watched the movie after I beat 15. I was like, why was this not in the game? Why didn't they do something where, like, I played as Noctis and I kept going back and forth between Noctis and Nyx between certain chapters? And then, like, when I go to sleep with Noctis in the inn, that's when that whole big battle happens. That happens in the movie.
And you're in control.
Why couldn't that be? That would make the game so much better.
I know.
I think they didn't want to take away from Noctis being the main character because Nyx, fucking badass.
Do you know what I think it is? I think Square Enix just wanted to make some fucking money. Like, literally, they had a complete story in 15, and they were like, right, what can we do, boys? Right, we'll take this bit out for a movie. We'll take these 4 character backgrounds, and make them DLC.
Yeah, that's why I have the game in D tier in my tier list.
Well, I played it at launch, and it was empty. It was just fucking empty. It genuinely.
And you notice the bars and stuff, the diners, they are all copy and
pasted.
paste
Yep.
exactly the same structure inside, the same posters, the same colors. Every single thing is exactly the same.
I
And
think there's like
I felt so
4 character
lazy.
models as well for NPCs or something
Yep.
daft like
It was
that.
the laziest shit I've ever seen in my life. I was like, "Oh my god." And the open world. That's why when people like, "I want FF7 remake to be open world." No, please, no. I hate open world and story-driven games. I hate it because they lose so much in the story and they focus so much in the open world and it's
Yeah.
usually shit.
I'm not
Like
gonna
the
lie
open
as
world in
well.
15 was so empty
When it's
and the
good,
side quests. Huh?
and when it is good though, you're just not
Yeah.
doing the story. That's
Yeah.
it. The story just
Exactly.
grinds to a
Yeah.
fucking halt.
Yep.
Like Red Dead Redemption 2, 100%. I was off, mate, doing whatever. I was hunting, I was skinning animals. People are
That happened to me in
dying.
Ghost of Tsushima. That happened to me. I still haven't finished the
Oh,
main game because I just went off and kept doing side quests because the side quests are actually so good in that game. But like in 15, it
yeah,
was so dead and
yeah.
empty, and then the side quests were like, "Hey, go catch 3 frogs and then come back." And then when you come back, go catch another 5 frogs in this
Awful,
location. And it's like,
awful,
bro,
awful.
what is this game?
Even the hunts were bad.
Oh god, they were
And then you had the cup noodle thing as well, mate. The
yeah.
cup noodle thing. Come on.
Yeah, and so that's one thing I talked with Danny about in the video we did of like will remake part 2 be open world? I think it's going to be like there's one or two ways it could go. It could be like Dragon Quest 11
That'd be all
or
right.
like FF12, like open
Yeah,
areas with like little instance you run through and you get to the next area.
yeah.
Or it could be very linear, like
10.
10 or 13.
Yeah,
Because I mean, part 1 was already a hallway simulator,
pretty
but
much.
they did a little bit like they did a good job at pacing certain things
Yeah,
in remake better than 13. With the cutscenes and voice acting and a little bit of break in the monotony of
yeah.
just going through main story and have a little bit of side quests and a little bit of exploration.
I think
But I think
the world map thing could be a deal breaker for a lot of people.
oh yeah, a lot of
Yeah.
people want it open world, and I'm so baffled at why.
th-
I mean, I know a lot of the people in the West like open world.
It's people who think Final Fantasy VII was open world when
Yeah,
it
they get so
wasn't.
confused with that.
It
It
just
was
wasn't.
not.
There was a world
It's
map. There was an
yeah,
overworld map, but the story was
it's
very.
only open at the end of the game.
Yeah,
That's the
exactly.
only
Once you get
time
the
it's
high
open,
wind, then
which
you're
is like
good.
every Final Fantasy game. You
Yeah,
still have to go from place to be able to unlock those other areas. People get
exactly.
that confused with open world. Open world means Breath of the
Go
Wild. I
anywhere.
can literally go fight the final boss at the
Yeah,
start of the game.
Fallout
Like,
4. I can do what I
yep,
can skip Sanctuary and just go and do
yep,
whatever the fuck I
yep,
want. Yeah,
yep.
that sort of
Skyrim,
game.
like,
Yeah,
yeah,
Skyrim. Yeah, yeah. People get mixed up on what people do that a lot with a lot of
a lot.
fucking terms these days. In fairness,
There's
but
not a single FF game that's open world besides 15,
yeah, and
and it
even
was the
that's a
worst one.
restricted open world. It's
Yeah,
not like it's
yeah. You
not.
still can't go to certain places. Yeah.
Yeah, you're locked off from a lot of places at certain points
Mhm.
in the game. So
Yeah, don't you like drive to certain locations and then there's the Empire saying you turn
turn
around or
around. Yeah,
they turn around and they're like, "Oh, we can't go this way, knock."
yeah,
And then yeah, so that's still technically you still have to go from place to place to be able to unlock
yeah.
until you finally get the flying car. Then you can go wherever the hell you want.
Yeah, there's a
But it's literally the
progression that you
same
have to
thing.
go through. Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. But yeah, world map. Don't know, man. I
So,
hope. I
I think
hope.
it's gonna be like 10.
Yeah, I
We're
think
gonna have fast travel, right?
something
Where you can
between
probably
10 and 12 would be nice. I think
yeah,
like 10's kind of thing, but a bit bigger.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah. In my opinion, Dragon Quest 11 is probably the
yeah,
best way to
yeah.
explain how they're probably gonna do it.
Yeah, because that is like very much. You have a few little bits where it is a bit corridory, but then it opens up into a big area, and you can go and
Yep.
do something over
Even
there.
um
Yeah,
Tales of Arise does that style too, like Dragon Quest 11. Tales of Arise the open areas are like that too.
nice, nice.
So
No, it's going to be interesting to see because, like, yeah, I think it will switch some people off if there isn't a world map or something like that,
100%.
and people just need to chill. Like, just
Yeah. Like just at this point, it's a story-driven game.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
You
People are
should be
thinking,
happy about getting more story,
I wouldn't
you
mind as
know?
well, right? But in part two, no one's going to be running off to get fucking Knights of the
Yeah.
Round or Breed a Gold
And
Chocobo or
Final
anything like
Fantasy
that. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
It's
and I'm gonna
part
be
two.
honest. Final Fantasy games don't do good side quests. Their side quests are awful.
Yeah, they hit it. They've hit
Their
it
end
hard a
game is good,
couple of
but
times.
like the side quests are just
Oh, right, yeah, I get what you mean. Yeah, I get what you mean. So
Like,
yeah, these days, 100%.
and like usually when you get open
It's
world
filler.
games, they got to fill it in with
Yeah,
fetch quests
yeah.
and hunts and side quests and menial tasks. But
That's what it
that's
boils
just
down
not
to.
fun.
Yeah, it just
Yeah.
boils down to being filler at that point, and it's like,
It's just padding. They're just trying to make the game long. It's literally the freaking sewer and
oh,
Hojo's lab. That
oh,
worst two parts of the game. Even honestly, I really liked it the first time going through it was to get to Sector 6. But those claws after the first playthrough, the hands, oh my
oh, in
god.
the
Oh, I
collapsed
remember speed
expressway.
running. Yeah.
Yeah, horrible, horrible,
I remember when I
horrible.
was learning how to speed run Remake and I was like, "Oh my god, this is awful.
This kills runs.
This
This
is
kills
awful."
runs.
Yeah, this is awful.
Oh, the
No
worst
wonder why
bit.
Caleb doesn't like the freaking speedrun Remake. Holy shit.
Oh mate, I watched one of his streams the other, one of his, not live, but you know when he's uploaded it to YouTube.
Oh, those
Jesus,
are the
man,
best.
them boys know Final Fantasy VII's mechanics in so
Oh
much
man,
detail, man.
I've seen him miss Palmer with Bio like 15 times in a row. That must be so rage inducing. I'd freaking break something.
Yeah, because it's
I've
not.
seen him get so mad that he literally takes the disc out of the PS2 and bites it in half and breaks it because that's how mad he got.
You know, you can't do that these days with seven. It's getting
I
rarer.
know, dude. His chat was pissed at him for that because they were like,
Yo,
"How hard it is to get a PS1 copy
I've
of
got
Rem
one
of
copy
Final
that works.
Fantasy
Yeah, I've
VII."
got two copies. One of them's fucked from
Oh
overplaying,
god.
and the other one barely works. But on a few of the, like every now and again on an FMV, it will stop for a second, but then it will kick back in and kind of carry on.
Hmm. Yeah.
And he's
So
just biting them
it's
up. Mad guy,
uh,
mad guy.
I hope they stay away from the open world and the
Yeah, keep it
empty areas and
focused.
stupid side quests. Just keep it focused, keep it paced well, where you have a couple of side quests here and there. Maybe you have areas that are open, like 10. Yeah, like 10 does that. Like you can
Camlands.
backtrack to certain places
Yeah,
and do other things, and or 10-2, whatever. You can keep traveling back and
yeah,
forth through locations.
yeah. I
Like
think.
maybe we go to Chocobo's farm and then maybe we can come back to it again at a later time
Yeah.
at the end of the game, and maybe there's more quests to
Well,
do
this
or
is it.
something.
Eventually, they're going to have to integrate an airship in. Well, I don't know. They might not have to. It depends how much it changes. We might not even
Yeah,
get an airship. You never know.
maybe we won't even get the buggy after the gold saucer. I
And
wonder how
even
they're
if
gonna
we
do
did
all
it, it'd
that.
just end up being like a Final Fantasy 15 drive-along simulator.
God, I hated it
That's what
in
it'd be.
15. It made me never travel on foot. I was like, oh, okay. I'm just gonna set it to drive here. Oh,
Yeah,
6 minutes? Okay, I'm gonna go make a sandwich.
exactly. Exactly. I'm just going to leave
That's
it to
why
do its
people are like,
thing.
oh, the open world in FF15 was so good. I'm like, there's open world? All I did was drive everywhere. I never did anything else.
Oh, fucking
I
hell.
would drive as close as I possibly could to my destination, get out the car, and then run a couple feet to where I'm supposed to go, and then go back to my car.
Yes.
So I hope they don't do that in Remake.
Especially
I
at
hated
night.
it. Yeah.
Especially at night.
Oh yeah, with the demons being stronger. I
Jeez.
kind of hope they do something like that
It
in
would be
Remake,
interesting.
making the monsters stronger at night or something. That'd be cool.
Yeah, or like
Or
different.
like more dangerous monsters come out at night or something.
Yeah, different seasons as well and stuff like that. Because they've done it before. Look at 12. You've got like the rainy
Yep.
season and the dry season and
Yep.
stuff like that. They have done it
I will
before.
say some of that stuff in 12 was annoying because there's certain hunts that it has to be raining.
Yep.
There's one location in the game that you have to wait 2 hours to go by, like actual IRL time while you have the game running for it to be raining.
You mean, nah, man.
Yeah, I was like,
Nah.
I really want to do this hunt, but I really don't want to leave the game over 2 hours.
I'm not about
It was,
that.
yeah,
That's
it was
horrible.
annoying.
Yeah, that's pretty horrible. I think I must have skipped that one. Thankfully.
Yeah, you probably did. It's an early game hunt.
Shit. Nah,
Yeah.
fuck that. I'm not about that. Yeah, that's not fun. That's not an
No,
enjoyable
no.
time. That's not. They better not do that in Seven
Just
Remake.
just give me a summer outfit when I get to Costa del Sol. I want Barrett. I want to be able to play in the sailor uniform, in the sailor outfit
I do think
after.
they probably will let us do stuff like that. And even if they don't, it's going to come to PC anyway. People are just
That's
fucking
true. Yeah,
mod
we'll
it
do
in.
it anyway on PC. I mean,
If,
shit. The one of my favorite mods I downloaded was Tifa with the Demon Slayer girl's outfit. Oh my god, it looks so good. Oh my god.
Oh shit! But I mean, the model's going to be in there for Sailor Suit Barrett because if I swear down, that is one of the things that could end Remake for me. No Sailor Suit Barrett, no Red 13 in a Shimmer uniform, mate. I will be pissed if
They
we don't
have
get
to.
them.
They have to.
Pissed. I just want to see Red 13 like this, like a fucking dickhead. I need to see
Maybe,
it.
maybe we don't sneak on the ship anymore, dude.
Oh no, we do get on the ship. We do get on the Tracer 2 Paths thing. That's happening while they're on
Oh,
the ship.
okay, you're right. You're right.
So
Okay, yeah,
yes,
you're right.
ship
God.
confirmed.
Imagine they're like, hey, it's not canon, we lied.
But doesn't Tifa speak to Red 13 at some point?
Yes.
And there's no mention of a Shinra uniform,
No,
is there?
well, when
I'm
Tifa's telling the
furious.
story, Tifa's telling her story after they leave Calm on their way to Chocobo Billy's farm and Trace through Path.
Oh, and
Aerith is
Aerith
telling
is on
her
the boat.
story and the ship only to Tifa. But when Tifa's
Right.
telling the story, she's telling it in front of every. It's like kind of spaced out weird. Every couple of chapters, it'll be like to everybody, and like Cloud is just walking off on his own, and then she's telling the story to Barrett, Aerith, and Red 13, and then Barrett and Cloud wander off, and then it's just Red 13 and
How far do they
Aerith.
get? Well, I suppose they
They
get as far as the boat in Aerith's boat,
yeah.
don't
For Tifa's story, it gets as far as Cloud catching a chocobo with Barrett. Cloud and Barrett trying to catch a chocobo.
they?
While she's telling the last
Imagine if
chapter.
Game 2 starts in Costa del Sol.
Oh my god, what do you mean? Oh, no. I need the calm flashback. Don't do that to me.
Just imagine, though.
No, I don't want to imagine.
Because they've given us story. Technically,
You'll
they've
see me
given us
rage tweet for hours.
I'll
I
be
will
the
be
same.
tweeting
I'll
all
be the
day.
same. I agree. I would be the same. But think about it. They've given us story up to the boat in those 2 books.
No, they only told their backstory of Tifa specifically and Aerith specifically.
I know.
Not Cloud talking about Sephiroth's
But
backstory.
what happens though? So when we're playing through the game, are we going to see the conversations?
No, I don't think so.
So
I don't think he's going to put it in the game. I really hope they do. I think they need to, but I don't think he's going to.
Oh, that's a horrible thought I've just had. I feel dirty now. Dirty now.
I hate when they do these like light novels and they don't include them in the game. I really hope they do. But realistically, if they tried to fit Traces of Two Paths in the game, I talked about this with Baby Seal, and he kind of reiterated it to me. It's for Tifa's, it's like 254 pages. It's a whole book.
Yeah.
That would take like 15 to 20 hours.
Yeah, the Aerith one. Yeah, the Aerith one's pretty meaty as well.
Yeah. They're both almost
I've
the
not
same
read
length.
the Tifa one yet. I need to read it. I need to get to the Tifa one.
Oh, dude, the Tifa one hit me in the feels so many times, man. It's so good.
I was waiting for translations. I think Pico's finished now, haven't they?
Yeah, he's been done for a while, yeah.
Has it been done, right? Sweet.
I can send them to you after this, yeah.
Oh, lovely.
I hope you get some time.
I'll figure it out. I'll figure something out. I'll find some.
I read them on my stream a month ago when they were all up, but I don't think I saved them. I should have made a YouTube video. But
I did a video on the Aerith one, so I'm going to do the same thing, read through it, and then just do like a 15-20 minute video where I kind of fly through it and kind of pick bits out. Like in the Aerith one, the most interesting thing to me was how Aerith found out about Clay being dead, Elmira's husband.
Yep.
And it kind of showed that mechanic of how it worked. Like if Falna showed Aerith the vision, and she could see what was going on, but Clay couldn't see them, and he also couldn't see... He could see Elmira, but he couldn't interact with... It was just very weird, and it links to that scene with... If you do the resolution scene with
Elmira didn't see that, though. It was only Aerith.
Yeah, only Aerith sees that.
Elmira had no idea that he was trying to interact with her.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Only if Falna and Aerith can see that. Yep. And it links very much to the scene... the resolution scene, the Cloud and Aerith one, where Aerith's projecting herself to Cloud. It's the same shit, man. And it kind of made me think like, oh, so is this kind of like one of the main powers that the Cetra have then?
I don't want they don't need to put the whole Trace Two Paths in there.
Just a bit.
Just give me a couple of scenes, man.
See them.
Give me Aerith and Elfana escaping. Give me her death scene in oh my god, that would literally bring me to tears. Just reading it was bringing me to tears. Aerith's mom's death. She's a 5-year-old, 6-year-old child running around begging people for help while her mother's dying, and someone just walks by and is like, oh, I guess the least I can do is just throw a blanket on top of her and move her to the side so she don't get stepped on. And then oh god, it was so sad.
The other thing as well you learn from that book about Biggs and the orphanage and like how he basically funds the orphanage,
Yep. And then I'm glad that Biggs is actually alive now because I want to see an interaction between Biggs and Aerith. Because he saved Aerith when she was younger from being bullied.
They know each other, so what the... Oh.
Yeah. But they haven't seen each other since they were kids, so I'm guessing
Yeah, because they
Biggs
don't
looks
bump into each other
completely
at all, do they, in Remake?
Yep.
Biggs is in the tower.
Yep.
Yeah, Biggs is already in the support tower, so yeah, they don't see each other as far as we know.
Nope.
It'd be interesting to find out how involved he is with the orphanage, and I'm going to assume very, considering he's there at the end of Remake.
I'm pretty sure he
bought
it out.
Yeah,
Pretty sure he bought it out.
the original owners were doing dodgy
Shinra
shit.
used to own it, and they used to sell the children as slaves.
Yeah, dodgy shit. Shit. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see that kind of...
Yeah, I need scenes from Aerith, a couple, like the Alfano one I was saying, them escaping and her death, a little bit more. You don't need to show that much of Aerith when she was growing up with... Maybe... No, because they already talked about, like, the
it's
husband,
all standard stuff.
All that.
Yeah, it's all
but
standard.
I'd like to see more about Alfana, because we don't see enough about her.
Yeah.
And then Tifa... for all the other shippers, besides Claudie shippers, Tifa literally says that she is in love with Cloud in Traces to Path. So, all you Clariths and Clessies and...
Oh, poor Clessy. Clessy ain't shit.
I know.
Clarith, though.
Honestly, I like Jessie a lot more after reading Traces to Path.
Clarith? She's not going to die.
Path, like, Jessie actually saves Tifa's life.
Yeah, and she's a lot better than... Like, I think they did a really good job with the Avalanche group in general, fleshing them out and giving them a bit more. Like, I appreciated that 100%. I kind of wish they'd still died, though, like they did in the OG, because that was kind of the thing that was missing. Like, they died.
That's what we were talking about earlier, that it was more impact. Like, you don't want to get rid of those impactful moments, because that's what made the game so impactful.
How can you imagine if in the OG you'd known them as well as you do in Remake? 10 times
That's what I'm saying. The loss would be even harder.
Yeah, and and then they ruined it. And then,
like, the other thing for Tifa, I would like to see from Trace to Pass, besides her saying that she was in love with Cloud, and showing a couple of scenes of, like, I kind of want to see the scene of her falling with Cloud, because we don't see that, right? Of Cloud trying to save her, but she falls off the cliff anyway, and they blame Cloud, and Cloud takes the blame. They could do like small scenes for that, of her just talking about it cazily. And then I do want to see a scene of, like, her talking about Jessie, like I was just saying.
Yeah.
And her little training arc, like a little bit of it with Zengen.
I would love some of that. Yeah, I'd be all about that. I would be definitely into that. Because
is going to talk about what happens to Tifa in the flashback at Calm. So she don't need to talk about that. And they don't even do it in Trace Path. They skip over it.
Not even just the flashback either. If we end up getting the live stream scenes again, it's all in there. So you could definitely put the Zangan stuff.
The stuff that you didn't ever show before, that you only showed in the light novel.
Yeah,
that's 100%. All I need. Because I was talking to NSP about that, and he's like, I haven't read it, but he's like, man, that shit should just be in the game. And I agree. It like some form of that needs to be in the game at some point, because it makes so many more characters so much more impact, like so many more moments so much more impactful.
And this is where one of my biggest worries about 7 Remake comes in, and it is 15. Like we were talking earlier on about 15 and the way that they kind of piecemealed everything out. We'll do a movie, we'll do DLCs, we'll do a. They did a manga, didn't they? Did they do an anime? They did an anime, something like that.
For 15, they did an anime.
Imagine if they try and do that with 7, and look at what we've got. We've got a game that's coming out in multiple parts. We've got 2 mobile games coming out. We've got a graphic, a light novel that's come out. Do you know what I mean? It's starting to feel a little bit similar.
Be a movie at some point too. Shit.
I think the only thing that saves it is the fact that 7 Remake is fucking phenomenal, whereas 15 was a bit.
Yeah.
15
was a D, whereas I'll give Remake like an A, almost S. There's only very small things that make it an S.
I didn't feel right putting it in the very tippy top, but it's all there.
I wanted to, because I had so much fun with the game, and like all the stuff we talk about, music, the combat, the voice acting, the beautiful cutscenes, animation, 60 FPS, but
it is beautiful.
There's just certain things that worry me too much about future parts, where maybe after all that's said and done and the game's done, and I go back and think about what they did in part 1, I'm like, you know what? That was actually very well thought out and a masterpiece. Then maybe I'll go back and give it an S. But
now I see what they did. Yeah. Because this
you never know. Maybe they are building up, like maybe what Baby Seal and Sleep Easy saying. Maybe they're just building up to something fucking phenomenal, and it's gonna blow us away. We No.
It's all going to be delivery for me. As long as they deliver it well, I'm in. As long as they do a good job, I am very much in. But yeah, there we go. That is the 7 questions. How was it?
That was fun.
It's not too
Anytime
rough.
I can talk about FF7, I could. Man, I sit here all day.
This is what I'm relying on. Everyone just loves talking about 7.
Damn wall.
Yeah, this is it. It's easy.
Look at my wall.
I'm just coming up to people and just going, "Oh, do you want to talk about Final Fantasy VII?" And it's like, well, yeah, obviously you dick. Of course I want to talk about Final Fantasy VII. What's wrong with you? Oh no, that's been brilliant. No, thank you very much for that. Now, what I want to do is I want to give you a minute just to kind of let people know what you've got going on in the near future. So have you got any projects coming up in the next few weeks, months? What's going on? What do you want people to come and look at?
Well, right now, as some of you may know in the community, I did lose my channel for like a week because of being hacked by some crypto bot. It was really annoying. I ended up getting the channel back, but like algorithms really bad right now. Yeah. So because YouTube didn't see me upload for a good 2 weeks, so they're like, "Oh, this guy.
Oh, he's quit.
Screw this guy."
Obviously, he's quit.
Yeah. Now it's like taking me a minute to get back into YouTube's good graces, the algorithm's good graces. But right now I'm uploading all of my reactions to 14 Endwalker, which was absolutely phenomenal, and the amount of things that made me go, "What the?" It was insane in the game. And one of the things I'm working on in the future heavily is going to be Ever Crisis. I got a lot of videos in the works right now for Ever Crisis. I just recorded one before we did this. I'll probably have it go live on Monday or something. But yeah, there's I came from Dissidia Opera Omnia, which I have theories on the game being probably very similar to Opera Omnia, mechanically, gacha wise and everything. I think Dissidia does. Honestly, Opera Omnia does it out of every gacha. I played a lot of gacha games, a lot of mobile games. It is the most free-to-play friendly game. I've not spent a dime, and I have every single OP weapon in the game. And you can get every character for free. You just pull for weapons, and occasionally they'll release packs where it's like, hey, you can get Jet, but in his Aeon form, for $30, but we'll also give you that skin for $30 and the gems to pull on stuff.
Right.
So I think that's what they're gonna do. Ever Crisis, stuff like that.
Yeah.
For skins and weapons. But I am working on that, and a lot of remake mod videos. Like the next one I'm gonna upload is Vice, clapping my cheeks.
Ooh.
There's a Vice mod where I don't know if you've seen it. But there's a mod where he replaces every single enemy, even turrets, and he has the same. He has the health of those enemies. Yeah, he has the health of those enemies, but he still does all of his skills and mechanics. So it is extremely difficult. So right now I'm doing a thing where I'm starting the game new, fresh, no materia, new game, and I'm gonna try to see if I make it to Scorpion Tank.
So you jump off the train, and 2 Vices come around the corner.
Soldiers. I posted a video of it on my Twitter. I'll show you after. You jump off the train, and the 2 trainer soldiers are 2. It's so funny because it's so buggy right now.
Yeah.
That they run at you T-posing. So it's like scariest shit ever. My Twitch chat was like, "Oh my god, they're posing on you before they destroy you." And as soon as you jump off the train and it starts, you just see the red text above and it says evisceration. And I'm like, "Oh my fucking god, I'm gonna get destroyed."
About to die.
Yeah. Well, the farthest I got was like one of the doors that that Biggs is opening up.
Yeah.
It's hard.
So it's
rough, hard,
then.
man. Yeah. It might be easier in hard mode when you have materia and you have the upgraded equipment and weapons, but I'm gonna try to do it in normal. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's hard. You got barely any healing. You got barely any materia. You can't use you only got fire 1. Like it's really hard. So that's one video I'm working on, and I'm gonna make it a challenge to the FF7 remake community. And honestly, if anybody can do it before I do, I will literally give you a $50 gift card. Yes. I think it's impossible.
The challenge is out there, people. The challenge is out there.
I think it's impossible. I don't think it's possible.
Oh nah, there's going to be someone. One of them's crazy. One of them will be crazy enough to do it.
Don't be doing no cheap shit and using modded equipment either, okay?
Yeah.
Don't be doing. Don't be using the Shinra amulet that gives you 500 attack and defense.
Yeah, it's got to be the base game other than the Vice mod.
Oh yeah, I forgot. In the Vice mod, I also have another mod that gives them 20% stat increase.
What?
Just them.
Oh.
So they have 20% increase attack, defense, HP,
So even
speed,
if it
all that.
is one of those really rubbish soldiers from the very start of the game,
They
they've
have
then
the
got that
greatest
boost
stats.
stacked on
Yeah.
top.
You
Oh,
can't just one shot them. Yeah.
that's going to be messy.
Yeah. And the messed up part about that is if you do not kill him while he's staggered and he goes into phase 2, he actually turns into Vice instead of a Shinra
Oh, he
soldier.
goes full
Above
power.
his name, it'll say Shinra dog, right? But if you stagger him in the first and you do not kill him when he's staggered, it'll change from Shinra dog to Vice, and he will literally be as tanky as Vice is. So, it'll be impossible to kill him.
So you could end up in a situation where that happens to like 2 or 3 enemies, and you've just got 2 or 3 full power Vice.
Yep. And then he goes into the second phase with the gun where he's immune to physical damage. Or all damage.
That's ludicrous. That is ludicrous.
So it's hard. I think it's impossible, but it'll be fun.
Oh, that's got to be another challenge. See how many Vices you can get on the screen at the same time. Proper Vices.
If you fast travel if you chapter select to the area where you're with after Jesse's, when you're invading the warehouse to try and steal the explosives for Jesse after you leave her house.
Oh my god.
All those Shinra soldiers there, and all the dogs that show up, it's like 7 or 8 Shinra soldiers. It's 7 or 8 Vices. Be careful, it might crash the game.
Oh,
it crashed my game a couple times.
Yeah, I'm sure if he starts
there's a lot
popping
of
off,
animations, there's a lot of eviscerations.
yeah, if they all start popping off at the same time, it's like, oh shit, no. PC just T-posing around.
Yeah. They're asserting their dominance with that T-pose.
Yeah.
Their version of teabagging.
Oh, fucking. Oh, yeah.
Goddamn.
Oh, yeah. Teabagging.
Yeah, that's what I'm working on. So feel free to follow me on Twitch and YouTube.
Oh, yes, make sure you do. Links are floating on the screen underneath Legions. They'll be in the description. Like, we're all on Twitter doing the things as well. Come and see us on Twitter. Come and say hello. Get involved. Just get involved. That's the main thing. And yeah, thank you very much for coming on. It has been an absolute pleasure having you on air. That's the first one for 2022 out of the way. Who's next? This is one thing.
Get this video to 200 likes. Get more likes than Blitz's video.
Yeah, we got to get it to, what is it now? We need to get it over 1,100 views.
I'm just kidding.
No. I like the competition. It gives me more views.
Get more views, yes.
Yeah, I like the competition. I get more views out of it. Keep it going. Go to war, boys. Go to war.
Smash that like button because only 50% of you are not subscribed. You gotta fit that in somewhere in the video.
Oh, I love it. I absolutely love it. Like I said, don't forget, like all the stuff, like all of my stuff, like all of Legions' stuff, like everybody's stuff. Just like everything. It's free. Just click it. Yep. You know what I mean? It's free. But thank you for watching, and more importantly than anything, have a great day. Peace.
Peace.